All right, so once again on live. What's going on, man? What's up? Put this shit up. Check. You hear me? Hey, what's up? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, where you been, man? What's up, man? What's up?
What's up with it?
I'm doing all right, man. You doing all right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I ain't
man.
tripping.
Oh yeah. Chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah, you saw that video I sent you.
Yeah, what was that?
That was Doa sending me a video. She was out there at the day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and DC.
Yeah.
So what did
Oh
she
yeah,
say about
she
this? Have you ever had a conversation with her? What did she say about the you know what I'm saying?
like she talked to me for a long time. Matter of fact, she out there now. She said the same thing I told you that it's just a bunch of content creators just putting up a bunch of lies on the internet. She's out there every day. But she just was like, matter of fact, she was on the phone because she said a homeless man was walking to her car and stuff, and she was like, that she was mortified. The man took a shit in the middle of the street.
Nah, stop.
I'm trying
They
to tell
got
you, she was
they got trash cans
yo.
out there, man. I can understand. I'd have been in this where look, I might have to go, but in the middle of the street, I would go get it. I would sit on top of a trash can man, and blow that.
But
Nah.
hey, cause she told me she wanted to send me a video. I tell her you ain't gotta send me no video, no shit like that. No,
Nah, man, she tripping. Nobody want to see that. Hold on. She wild for that one. Nobody want to see
but
that.
but as I had told you earlier today when I was talking to you for a little bit, and I said like like I talked to her. I said that yeah, she was like most of them run national malls. So I said yeah, I know because I talk to people in DC all the time. They're not in the regular neighborhoods, so it's not even about crime. As a matter of fact, all you gotta do is pull up all them states, and you'll find out every one of them states got a smart city initiative. So me and you talked about it. It's all
That's
about
gentrification.
it's all about Washington D.C. smart city initiative, Ohio smart city initiative. This one, that one. All you gotta do is pull up every state, and they'll show you Smart City Initiative. That's all you gotta do. Pull up. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, and then it was 30 days before 9/11. So I mean, that's why I said she just after she had talked to me or whatever. I said, you know what, you're talking to me right now. I'm gonna come on and do a show or whatever because of some fact that you brought it up to me. And
where's she at? She still out there now?
She out there. She out there on the street or whatever.
Tell her come on the link.
All right.
Tell her come on the link and give us about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I got a couple questions, about 5 questions, maybe.
All right. Let me.
Yeah. Come on, man. We need people that's touchdown, baby. I know you. You the anchor man, nigga. Goddamn, anchor man.
But look, I mean, like literally, that video that you I just sent you was out there. Yeah. So really, she out there right now. That's what I tried to. But because she said she had to go to the bathroom or something. But I had told her, she was like, a lot of people was out there just staying in hotels. You got content creators going online or whatever. She was like, they're not in the regular neighborhood. She was like, this is like up there between National Mall and this stuff, which I already told you is big time side anyway, because of some fact of I already knew this. So I said, well, let me go look this up. And then I go find out, all the places got smart city initiatives.
Come on now. I just told you JD Vance was went to I don't know what city in Georgia. But he went to a city where, and the white dude was like reporting on it. He was like, we ain't got no crime here. I don't know why he come here. We barely ever have, like, say, somebody may speed a ticket or a red light ticket. We barely even get them. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. Well, to make a long story short. But yeah, yesterday we had a big event in Richmond yesterday. No. My bad. It was the other day. They had a stampede in Richmond. No bullshit.
I seen that, the stampede with the laptop thing.
Yeah. Like 5,000 people showed up, but it is what it is. Yep. Here we go.
When they opened the gates, there's hundreds of these hoodlums just standing there that wouldn't get in line. They just stormed on through like a flood.
Thousands of people stampeding for an iBook trample over others.
Screaming. I was like, everybody get off. And nobody cared. Nobody was paying attention. They're just pushing through.
Sending one woman away on a stretcher, another crying for her young child caught in a stroller.
And people from the rear end of the line bombarded their way through, pushing us and making me fall on people. My husband grabbed my daughter before I hit the ground.
We have been into the line since 4 o'clock.
At the doors to get in the building,
we need you all to back off of the building.
More chaos erupts. Police build barricades to help control crowds.
There'll be no shoving, there'll be no mayhem and no riot.
And once inside, it's a completely different atmosphere of order and calm, checking IDs.
Hold on. Matter of fact, let's hold that thought. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you still out there in the street?
I still am.
All right, good. Thanks for coming on. I mean, I told you, he said it'd be good if you come on 10 minutes. I said, when you out there in the street, you've been before you were just talking earlier. You told me you were mortified. I told you I see that all the time. But at the same time, I saw this shit every day. So I mean, crackhead doing this shit, whatever. But
that's exactly what he did. Right in I saw nothing but the back of his butt, and I'm like, I was on the phone with him. Oh my God! I said, King, stay on the phone with me. I kid you not, Chak. I said, King, please stay on the phone with me.
Yeah, we're glad I gave you a call, but yeah, because you sent me the video, and we were discussing as I had told you that all this stuff. Now, I told you, my friend goes to His daughter goes to Howard. People go to school out there. I know people. I tell you, I go to DC club open 4 o'clock in the morning. I ain't never had to worry about nothing. So, like I said, as a matter of fact, Trump had even said in May that the crime was down. There were no homicides that day. And as a matter of fact, all you're doing diverting crime in other areas. But at the same time, as you discussed to me, that hey, these people, you're out there every day. These people are only in certain areas. They're not in Anacostia. They're not in the hood. They're not in none of them areas. So,
Now that could have changed. I'm not sure. I may
maybe not
slide through this.
Anacostia. He did say in there certain areas.
But at first, no, they were not. I was in an area, some really bad areas, and walking out by myself because I'm really not afraid of the people out there. I've been around for a while, but seeing those large weapons, that's something different because I just know from a certain standpoint and a certain mindset, and you can't really fault people, that can truly lead to an escalation. And I think I could be wrong that that might be a reason why some of these things are being done. Granted, these National Guards that I saw, and I put that short up and I sent to you, they have not been back in front of this McDonald's, and it has trash out here. It has, I'll just say, release of things from that gentleman. Didn't Trump say he wanted to clean up the area? Well, how come they're not going to clean it up? Are they going to start walking around with pooper scoopers?
Yep, you're right. Well,
Not many people are watching it.
Well, like my buddy, like I told you, his daughter goes to Howard or whatever. They don't see him there. Like they said that some people don't have a problem with it. Some people are against it. It's more like a mixed bag. But like I told the guy, I had to tell the guy at the court the other day, these content creators, they're a bunch of bullshitters. They're lying because when I go up there, I mean, I don't have no. I mean, something might happen, but it's not like. As a matter of fact, as I pointed to you that all these states that they say all this is going on, all of them have smart city initiatives. So, I mean, common sense would tell you gentrification. I mean,
And that's why you don't see as many um, non-white people in some of these areas. You just don't see them. They can't afford the places. As a matter of fact, Corey Mills, he he had a failure to pay rent for a $20,000 a month condo here in DC, and the total amount he owed was 85,000. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yep, it's right here. Matter of fact, like I said, I mean, it's just one image I'm going to show since we're talking to you since you're out there in DC. But I mean, it's in Richmond, it's in all the cities. I mean, here we go, right here. You can pull it up right now about this initiative, Smart City Initiative, Murray and Bowser, which I already told you that Murray and Bowser and Trump were working together. Right here, Smart City Initiative. Initiative claims a complete picture across all 8 wards of Smart City Aligned Project, partner organizations, and opportunities. The Office of the Chief Technology Officer is leading the interagency effort to explore how smart city technology can be used in district. Smart city technology leverages intelligent city infrastructure, including connected devices, sensors, and data analytics to improve quality of life for residents, enhance economic growth, and address city challenges. That is right there, Murray Bowser. Okay?
Okay, King, give me a quick favor. Hey, Shaq, how are you doing?
Boogity,
If he's
boogity, boogity.
I haven't seen you around. We're having a show, as a matter of fact, this weekend. If the two of you are available, King, you may not be because I know you're doing your DJ thing, but we're going to be talking about um this this town, if you will, in Arkansas that they want to be all white. You can't. It's like a membership. So we're going to talk about that, and we may go into this situation going on with the troops. So if you are available and if you're interested in joining, That's the monthly thing we have with Cinder. I can send you all the link. But type in Trayon White's name, King, and look what comes up.
What day is it? Is it gonna be on
Yeah.
Thursday?
No, Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Send me the information link.
Now
No,
Shaq, hold on. Because Shaq mentioned Georgia. Well, Shaq, there you go. That's Georgia Tech. They got an Institute of People and Technology. Georgia got a smart city initiative too. Atlanta, actually. That's there. All these cities we talking
Yeah,
about.
JD Vance, he was just in Georgia. I don't know what city, but he was just in there talking about the as I was telling Benoit. I seen somebody another podcast I watched, and she played the video. But it was a white guy that was reporting on it. That JD Vance had came to the city talking about high crime and stuff like that. So they on the move.
All right. You say Trayon White? Yeah, I know Trayon White, brother. Yeah, I know about
okay,
him.
well, you do know what happened to him in 2024, correct?
Yes.
You know he was reelected. Is it a possibility that there have been talks to have him pardoned because his trial is not until January of 2026? He is in Ward 8. However, he was arrested coming out of a very swanky penthouse over in another part of DC. They're, and I must say, to be prudent and responsible, that there were rumors that well, actually, it's on tape, that he accepted over 136,000, I think, in bribes to keep certain DC contracts going. One being the youth, what is it? Youth violence interrupted programs. A lot of money in a lot of cities going to those programs. Do we see really any changes, any differences in that? Or is the money really going to those programs? I'm telling you, if you look and do an audit on Bowser, I'm telling you, she's going to come up dirty.
Mm.
But yeah, look at research Trayon White. He's Ward 8 council member. He was exposed, I want to say, in March, and he ran again for the special election for the seat that he lost, and people reelected him again.
Mm.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah, I know about Trayon White. As a matter of fact, now let me say something about Mr. Trayon. Matter of fact, come think about it, Mr. Trayon, since because Mr. Trayon was for the God one time. then he happened to be against. Then check this out. Now he claimed to be against, but then also he had also had some problems with the Zionists, so they say. But now he's their buddy now, so that already let you know.
Absolutely.
So that was all game the whole time. I told you.
Exactly. And now he's saying that he believes that the FBI is trying to unalive him. When he had a press conference, he had on a T-shirt that said, "They unalive Fred Hampton." I mean, this is unreal. I mean, like I said, yes, there are issues, and I do believe that there are areas that absolutely need to be cleaned up. But I also believe that there's other ways that this can be done. One of them is I'm appalled. I spoke about this earlier, not today, but I don't know when it was. If Bowser can commit to $1.1 billion on revamping RFK, where's the city going to get that money from? And you see all these homeless people around here, all these people fighting or suffering from addiction. You don't think you can take you think a national football team stadium is more important than your own people, your own constituents. And keep in mind, I forgot who said it, that the football, excuse me, they're considering that as a form of entertainment now, as opposed to um, actual sports. So I mean, think about it. I'm not BSing you at
I
all.
know. I know. Oh, let me say one more thing. Also, not only is it about smart city initiative, is also a big agenda to lock up juveniles, because Justice Janine Pirro during the press conference also said that there was a lot of juveniles out there committing crime. So that was another thing that let you know that how they were going with this thing. Just
But
putting it out.
when you came, because there was a curfew.
That's what we're saying. Hello. Yeah. I mean, hey, look. I mean, it didn't take that hard to figure out. That's how I already knew. I said, wait a minute. All these cities got smart city initiatives, so I already knew this was what this was about. Because, I mean, they're acting like I said, they showed you only 9 or so arrests for violence, maybe 2. Most of them was immigration arrests, but for the most part, a lot of people were getting ticketed for simple misdemeanors and things like that. It wasn't even like traffic tickets, checkpoints, DUIs, et cetera, et cetera. So most of this stuff wasn't even what they claimed it to be. Because like I told you, if that's the case, they would have been with it. But as a matter of fact, come think about it, you're not going to be in many hoods anyway, because guess what? D.C. is a very gentrified place now. I mean, I go to D.C. I mean, I used to go to D.C. with a little, see black, you can go to areas of DC where you see no black people hardly today, or you see some, traveling, but in some areas, it's a heavily gentrified place. You know that. You're right there.
Yeah, I've been doing drive-throughs, so I've been going live, showing people. Look, for the people that have eyes to see and ears to hear, look where I am. You don't see what they're telling you on the news. Now, the places that you do see, like Adams Morgan, that's a high concentrated area of Latinos and Hispanics. So you have to keep all of those variables in mind. Is there crime? Absolutely, but there's crime everywhere. Hell, in Bethesda, Maryland, they just raided the house of Trump's former aide or something. What's his name? John Bolton or Dalton or something in Bethesda. So let's be real here. What's really going on? I think the man has a vendetta against anyone that's crossed him.
Well, here's the deal. That, like I said, I've been there. But when I knew, the first thing I said, well, when I looked at it, you said RFK Stadium, right? Because I want to go back to RFK Stadium, right? Now, anytime you have a major football team coming on, that's gentrification right there. That's what happened in SoFi anyway, because like I said, crime is controlled. They know where it's at, how to stop it, whatever. I mean, come on, let's be real. Like downtown areas, that's why people go downtown. Like I said, back then, we used to be downtown in DC all the time. People had them big go-go concerts and stuff. I'm not saying they still don't have them, but what I'm saying is, like you said, curfews, right? Well, hey, look, you know what time you're going to have the curfews or not. I mean, you got places closed in DC that used to be closing at 12 o'clock, closing at 9 now. I know that because I've been out there. But at the same time, I don't particularly, like I said, DC is not like when I grew up as a kid. I mean, when they had what they call it, the dope busters, all that stuff and all that. But it's called, that's right, Ed, right? It's called Protection in Name and Development. And I got to go pull up the model of where they get it from. And the Smart City Initiative is actually Israeli program. But not only that, check this out. One more thing. They're about to do a big broadcast this week on what? Documentary on Hurricane Katrina this week. Because I'm talking about Hurricane Katrina, the 20th anniversary. What were you doing? What did the government do? What do you think could be done better? And all this stuff, right? Boom, right? So you got that coming up. Then you got 9/11 coming up, right? You got all that. Matter of fact, this psyop they running in DC was 30 days before 9/11 on 8/8, which 8/8 is Hail Hitler. All you gotta do is look at the number. H is the eighth letter of the alphabet, and H again, the 88. That's all you gotta do. This is when you sit there and look at it. This ain't really that hard to figure out. But that's right here. Right. It is protecting name and development, but it's also called urban renewal again. And also, you're talking about getting the homeless and stuff. Yeah, I mean that because when you doing development, you got to, like I said, the smart city initiative. You got to get people out of the areas because you don't want people to actually see what's going on. That's what was happening during COVID. A lot of technology was built for smart cities then as well. So you always got to think when all this stuff is going on, you're doing that because you don't want people to know what's going on. So don't, I mean, do I thank you for being out there because, like I said, when I listen to these clowns online, I go look at it and pull up there, and I say these people a lot of crisis actors because if they were real, why they ain't down there in the actual hoods? I don't have no food.
Absolutely. When they had that 27 person mass OD in Baltimore, I was down there. One of them approached me and tried to sell me his bags. And again, I'm like, where are all these content creators? How come you're not actually down here on the streets looking at and filming these things? And again, as I said to you, King, how is it that 27 people in one concentrated area were able to get into the same bad batch? And I don't believe any arrests have been effectuated at this time. And again, where is the outrage from the Trump administration? And let's not talk about Wes Moore. Trump has called him out, but see, I spoke on that before when he tried to hide the fact that he wasn't quite honest about that Bronze Star. So there's a lot of things in Maryland that's going on that people need to pay close attention to. And that brings me to I don't know if I can do it.
On Trump board of governors. So come on, I mean that's like a big play in itself. But you know what, Wes Moore actually was a Republican under George Bush. You do know that, right? He was a White House fellow with Condoleezza Rice. Oh yeah, Wes Moore. That's him. I know about Wes Moore. Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people from Maryland do not care too much for him, and this is it is a sanctuary city. And I'm telling you, King, every time I turn around, there are people with Texas plates coming here in droves. So earmark that and remember, if something were to ever happen, you're going to say, you know what Joe said? There are a lot of people from Texas coming here. One last thing, and I'm going to jump into the chat. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I've been covering that. He was released from Tennessee on Friday, stepped back into Maryland, and turned himself in Baltimore today, and they're thinking about trying to deport him to Uganda. But Judge Zennis, I've actually seen her, and I've spoken to Garcia's attorney. I had the opportunity to meet him. I was in the courthouse, and the government's witness fouled it up. So she's going to be having an evidentiary hearing on Friday. I'm going to try to, I don't know how I'm going to do it, with work, try to finagle myself in and see if I can get some information. Of course, we can't record anything inside, but I can definitely take notes. But they have it for, they don't want that man here. Plain and simple. They're going to find a way to get him out of here. And again, the people need to wake up and pay attention to what's going on, because this case, as I mentioned, is a precedent. And if they can do it to him, and the main thing that they use is you're affiliated with gangs and trafficking and all of these other things, but no real proof. Because if that were the case, Why wasn't anything done in 2022 at the actual arrest stop? Yeah, there were people in the vehicle, but nothing was done then. So you have to conceptualize and pay attention to um, what you really see and hear and put two and two together.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I thank you for giving me actually tell you the truth, like I told Shaq. I've been out, I was supposed to be working on playlists tonight, but I said, you know what? I said, you inspired me to come on, because I was gonna come on later after I got done, but I said, no, I'm gonna pause. I'll probably be up to 2:00 in the morning night doing this stuff, but it's okay. Don't worry about it today, right? Because I'm glad that you out there and sent the videos and all that. I actually showed Shaq one of the videos. I gotta look at the other ones, but I saw the thing with the cracker and all that stuff. So look, like I said, just keep on being out there. I know you're still out there right now. So hey, look,
Yep,
I'm gonna say
police officers.
I can just call you. I can call people I know in DC, because I don't, like I said, when I hear these people, I say, wait a minute, dude, like, why are you in here? Like, I gotta show something else about these content creators, because they tell you, oh, they're against all this war. Well, why did they go over Huckabee? We'll talk about it later. Matter of fact, speaking of that, you mentioned Arkansas. Well, Arkansas just had an active shooter thing the other day, and guess what they said? They came and found out and told you there was no evidence of an active shooter to start with. So that means they they're gonna make the whole thing up the whole damn time. But that's how they get you. So I'm gonna say this, Duaz, don't fall for the clown show and all that. But it is what it is. But take your time and just be out there and be safe.
Oh, I am. There's police officers. Matter of fact, I don't know if they're messing with somebody or not. So let me see if I can't get some footage of that. Oh Lord, I'll talk to you all later. You all take care. I'll shoot you the information about Saturday.
Okay, got it.
You will be safe because just be safe.
Okay, thank you. Take your time.
Yeah. Bye.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, BJ. Hey, Chak.
How you doing?
Just trying to see what's going on the ground. What's she reporting from DC?
She live out there. Well, she live in Maryland, but she live rise in DC. But I was saying that all that stuff.
They know it. They know it's hell in them goddamn cities. The crime has been out of control. But I just don't like to play politics when it comes to people's safety, because people's safety is at risk.
Well,
and I like to know what you think Texas plates is out there, because there may be people from Texas that's working in DC, because I don't know if y'all remember, Trump initiative was to break up DC and not having so many DC people working in Washington anymore because of the status quo, right? So that's always been his plan, to break up DC and have people from different states, and even break up the federal government and have them in different states, not always centralized in DC. So I just want to provide some clarity there. And then Texas could be there also as a form of helping the National Guard or doing militia work. I mean, they did put in that thing. They got the bill now where you could be, bounty hunters?
Yeah,
because I know ain't nobody just moving to Texas from DC just to be moving there. Hell no. You know how many people that moved to Texas? Shit. So I'm sure that's on business and dealing with something with the militia, or say Trump busting up DC, and what's the other one I was mentioning? Oh, those bounty hunters.
Well,
send all them niggas, send all them ins. To me, put them all on a plantation, get rid of the illegal immigrants, and put them in the military. That would solve that problem overnight. Or if they want to be out, we have so many jobs that where we need trades at. Okay, you don't want to go to jail, you don't want to go to prison, or we lock you up, we teach you a skill apprenticeship, we'll let you out early. Tie that in with the First Step Act. You come out and you be productive. For 10 years, you got to do this field or apprenticeship. If you don't, you go back to prison. Watch how the communities turn around.
Well, I mean,
it's not good to live in crime-ridden areas. It's not.
It makes sense. Yeah, she just been out there recording for all the time, and like people, like I've talked to people in DC, but people don't want to go to Howard. They're just saying that the most of that stuff is around like the White House and National Mall, but it's not in the areas. And actually, tells you sometimes that when you do that, it causes the crime to go up in other areas. So like carjacking stuff like that. So it's not in, because DC is a very gentrified city. As a matter of fact, this is all part. If you go to all this stuff they're talking about, this is actually just part of gentrification and make it smart city initiative.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, I'm with you on that, BJ. Like you said, they could all be working together. Him, Bowser, I wouldn't be surprised. They all same bird, different wing of the same bird, right?
Dang,
that's a great point you made there.
And
this is what I say when you don't have the Democrats want to holler about stuff, but you haven't taken care of your communities in your areas, and they all continue to allow us to get gentrified out. And then the cities are becoming so bad, even here in Houston, where you talking about property taxes and all that, the crime is getting a little better, but of course, we Texas, we have guns, we know how to protect ourselves, but with the taxes and raising taxes and all that, and different policy, even though Houston is slowly changing back to Republican, right? A lot of people starts to move out to the suburban areas. One guy, he works in Houston, he's older. He moved out to Cleveland. I mean, my goal, when I get a certain age, I'm going to move out to Shepherd, Texas on our family property land. I don't want to live in the city anymore. I just don't. So that's another thing people have to consider about moving out of these major cities and areas because of policies and crime and taxes going up. You got to think about all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but here's the reality. Here's the reality. Like they talk about crime. Crime is really, I would say part of the environment, but also actually, to tell you the truth, it ain't really in DC. It ain't going up or down. It's been probably about on the baseline because just in May, Trump told you yourself that crime was down in DC. They didn't have no homicides in May either. Like so.
Okay.
So this is like. They said that it was some Doge employee got attacked, and that's why they did. As a matter of fact, come to think about it, since they bring Doge.
Yeah, I think that was just a smoke screen. I don't even know if that's true. I think that was just a way.
They just do it. Well, no. I'm speaking of Doge. They just released the SpaceX just about to release a rocket today into space.
I saw that.
So it's kind of funny they bring it up, but no. So I'm saying like. Some people say they agree with it. Some don't. Some people don't care. They're just saying that it's not in the areas stuff goes on. And a lot of stuff, people are just getting misdemeanor checkpoints and stuff like that. So, as a matter of fact, it was more people getting misdemeanor checkpoints than any violent crime. When they say 9 arrests of violence or something like that. Maybe 2 immigration arrests. And the rest of it like checkpoints and stuff. Like, the matter of fact, she even said it to me. She was saying that they will not let you record what's going on in certain areas. You can't be
interesting.
That's what she was saying. And I told you that happened 30 days before 9/11. And that's 8/8, which is 88. HH
Mhm.
is Hail Hitler. HH 88. So all you gotta do, look at them
Mhm.
terminology here. Look how 38 for 9/11. Now what they doing this week? Oh, Blackwater, matter of fact, just got another contract. Blackwater going to Haiti, by the way. Speaking of Blackwater, since
There
they
you
talking about
go.
Blackwater, they got that big documentary coming on this week talking about Hurricane Katrina. Where
There
were
you
you?
go.
How was it? They got that documentary coming on this weekend talking about what could have been done better and all this stuff. That's coming out.
Oh, here we go.
So
And did your boy at it again, Larry Fink with BlackRock talking about he trying to do these private equity firms. BJ, we gotta do a special on these private equity firms. I've been looking into them more. I know you used to send me stuff on them and how they bankrupt the companies. And now Trump signed that executive order to try to have people, they can invest their 401k into these private equity firms, which would be a disaster. Because the lady Tiffany Chione, I'm on X a lot, really more than any other social media because everything be breaking on there. But she's saying they've been trying to get to Trump because they're sitting on a lot of these businesses they bought, whether it's mom and pop or Joann's or whatever, and they can't sell them, so they paying like 19+% interest. So where do they need to get the money from? Your 401k and your retirement account. The same with I read another article talking about private equity trying to get into sports now, and some universities pushing back on it. So man, it's a lot
oh
going on.
yeah. I'm glad you mentioned about the private equity, and I was talking about these content creators or something like that be putting this. Remember you were talking about. Now I told you about Huckabee a long time ago, right?
You did.
I'm about to play you this interview where Huckabee went and told the rabbi straight up, "Y'all are God's chosen people."
Yeah, he getting a lot of flack too.
But guess what? Remember those MAGA people? He took them over there to Israel with him to give them their marching orders.
Yep.
So I told you all the Christian Zionists.
Well, I'm just waiting to see how this gonna work with the Christians versus the Jews, because
they working together. That's why they got the Christians working together with them. They call them Christian Zionists. That's why he brought them over there to Israel with him.
They all got to be on that Epstein list, BJ. I'm just at this point. That's just where I'm at with it, because I just don't. And then somebody gave a statistic today saying, that what's the guy that's running for New York City mayor, Monty Donnie?
Yep.
And they saying, why is the Trump administration kissing Israel behind when they still voting for Democrats? So the small hats in New York City is got Mondani up by 17 points because they voting for him.
Yeah. And guess what?
See, it's just something not adding up.
And the crazy thing, Trump was trying to call Cuomo, which I wouldn't call Cuomo for a day to be my dog catcher, but trying to call Cuomo to try to get support from Cuomo to unseat the guy. I said, well, wait a minute. Cuomo needs to be locked up, actually.
Yeah, you don't need to have. So is Cuomo trying to run again?
Yes, Cuomo run as an independent.
No, hell no.
Cuomo run as an independent against this guy. Yeah.
Hell no. And who else running? Eric Adams ain't running no more?
No, Eric Adams, Cuomo, but they might be, man, the way they going, they talking about they might try to tag team that thing up. But
oh, Eric Adams?
Yeah, man, because I'm like,
oh wow.
Because as a matter of fact, Shopton was backing Cuomo, and then he started backing this guy. I'm like, no, wait a minute now. It's kind of weird now. But but no. But I mean, like I said, the guy, hey, look, what's his name, Madame or whatever. Like I said,
mine and Dami, I think.
I kind of looked at it like, well, him, he an actor too. So I mean, yeah, he was.
I heard that. Yeah.
But
and his family kind of wealthy or something like that.
Yeah, so
He
I
used
mean,
to be,
yeah,
acting his fam. Got money.
but like I said, I mean, I was kind of like with him, just like I was like, but to go Cuomo, I like shit. I like no.
Hell, now, like you say, he need to be locked up.
I said no. I like, but I gotta remember Cuomo's little people, and I do remember that Cuomo is also part of. I think he's an Italian, so
Mob type shit. I got you. There you go.
So I know what type of time he on, but I mean,
that's interesting.
hold on for a minute. Shoot, trying to. Oh yeah, here it is. I got it right here.
Okay.
Rabbis, and
that's a sick mess.
This is humiliation in front of the world. Because listen to what he says. Here we go.
The ambassador has a very interesting view of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Rosh Hashiva grew up in America. There was anti-Semitism, of course. What I've experienced, we've all experienced it. The ambassador has a very interesting view of that. He says you can't understand anti-Semitism. If the people are anti-Semitic, it's because they're against God, against the Rabbi Shalom. And we are represented as his people, and that's why they're anti-Semitic. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Interesting view.
It's an interesting view. There's another view that since we consider the chosen people, so people are very. Who are you? What are you? Where are you taking big shots? Chosen people.
And that's part of it. Is that because you are the chosen people, given a chosen place, for a chosen purpose. And if someone is angry at God, he'll be angry at the people who represent him.
That's right.
So I tell people anti-Semitism is irrational. There's no
liar
unless you understand the spiritual reason.
You liar.
Which is what I believe is at the heart of it. It is not the left versus the right. It is good versus evil. It is the creator versus those who rebel against the creators.
The U.S. ambassador.
So there you have it. Man, tell you who the chosen people are.
I mean, wasn't that rabbi like reading off a script or something? Too?
Yeah. And you heard Mike Huckabee say it too. You are the chosen people. And if they rebel against you, it's like rebelling against God.
The God, right. G-O-D, right? The dog, huh?
God should not murder. Okay.
The dog, huh?
Hey. So-called Christians, boy.
I said, damn, that's a bad motherfucker right there.
I mean, I want to see all the porn. I want to see all the child sex. They got them in all kind of acts. I'm not. No.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, Dawson. Hold on for a minute. You just had an Israeli guy just last week. He got arrested up in Vegas somewhere. And they say, hey man, you from Israel? Just go ahead back home, man. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, go home. Yeah, that went all viral on X, formerly Twitter, and they tried to take that down. Tried to censor that.
I told you he can go home, man. He go free. As a matter of fact, they said that.
Why won't we all start putting on small hats then?
Well, them guys have some big hats though. Then they have the big black hats on. They the black hat one. They have some big black hats on. You know.
Man, the jig is up, man. The jig is up, dog. God, nigga, that's a dog.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I mean, I don't see how this gonna keep working.
We gotta understand, human is not us. Human is a monster, a beast. We're not beasts. They want to treat us like beasts because they're beasts.
Well, they're actually creatures.
Yeah, they beasts. They tell you that all the time.
Yeah, that's why they got something called bestiality. I mean, caveman type mentality, you know.
Governance ordinance department. That's what God stands for. governance,
You said
ordinance.
Yeah, that's what God mean. I believe that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what that means. It means that's law. That's the political law that they got people up on, put people up on this. It's religious tied into it. Their religion doctrine tied into it.
now, now look, now yeah, because wait, look, but like I said, who said I got to agree with that? Because I'm like, hell no, bruh. Like, we're not doing that. All right. So we're not doing that. Now you know that thing. What they call that thing, Dawson? Now it's funny you said this today. I happened to see the eyes out, but I said I'm gonna go home and run around all day. Matter of fact, I had a little scary incident yesterday. Shit, I told the Chak about it, man. I said, man, dang, oh man. And Dawson, you ever had a grown man tell you he wants you to drop him off the side of the road and let him walk home? I said, damn, what the fuck is going on in this bitch?
Uh-oh. Wow.
Man, yeah, yesterday my good nephew, he said, look, man, he like you've been hard on me. I'm tired. I was like, well, look, man, bro, I'm gonna take you home. He like, no, I ain't trying to go home yet. He said, drop me on the side of the road and I'll walk home. I said, man, you better take your hands off that daggone door. I said, you ain't gonna drop on the side of the road and walk it nowhere. We on the highway, buddy. And I don't know what the hell that was about. It must have been an episode.
What was his deal?
Shit. I know we've been working on the pot room out for a while, and he did say he was hungry. So I said, bro, take you home. He's like, no, I ain't trying to go home yet because I still want to be out. I said, well, look, I got somewhere to go and shit like that. It's 8 o'clock at night. Man, you got to get home. You know what I'm saying? He told me, he said, I know my way home right here on this highway. I can walk home or something. I said, man, cool. I said, we ain't doing all that.
Okay.
Like, yo, where you walking from? It would take him like 3 hours. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
He ain't even thinking.
No, I said, bro. I said, look, just chill, bro. He say, you've been hard on me. People that don't listen ain't been listening to me, blah blah. And he like you listen, but you be telling me to tighten up and shit. I said, look, man, you better to go home. So anyway, he wanted to. I said, fucking thing, whatever. He went to what they call that thing? What's that thing? Chipotle. That's it. That's what it's called. Chipotle. Yeah, right. I said, what the hell going on? So go in that jump. See, be honest. The young girl looked at me like I was crazy in that door. So I ain't tell you like she looked at me like I was crazy. So she was like, you don't know. I said, well, he ordered. I told her I don't eat Chipotle. She was like, what? She was like, you never ate Chipotle before? I said, I might have had somebody give some chips or something. She asked me where I was from or something like that. I said, God damn. But what happened was he didn't have his wallet, so I had to, get it for him, whatever. But something like that, right? He got me straight. But nevertheless, I'm just telling you that, yeah, that was the episode yesterday. So when I talked to Chak, oh shit, we had a thing, and Chak, I got to look at it into it some more, right? It could, like you said, it could be diabetes or whatever. I know, so. Sorry. Yeah, I see you get.
No, that was me, BJ. I accidentally hit the button.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that.
So this is something that. Oh, damn it. This is what you talked about. You said earlier, but at the same time, this has been reported on for months. They're already bringing it now about the screwworm. They've been talking about with this thing called screwworm or whatever. So it is what it is. But yeah, they say it's attacking the cattle or something. Yeah, right.
The screwworm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been reporting this for quite a couple months. But I reported it in a year, but it says in Mexico. But yeah, I mean, I guess they can bring it up now. That's like they said at the same time, the kids are going through a lot of stuff. So yeah. It what it is. I mean, but you just know, hey, watch your cattle, because the beef prices are astronomical right now.
Absolutely correct on that.
But now of course it says coming in Texas, but it's been in more places than that.
Well, don't forget to mention it. Texas was what you posted on Facebook about the lab grown meat.
So what?
Yeah.
Lab grown meat.
Yeah, Texas is banning the lab grown meat along with the other red states like Mississippi, Missouri.
Oh yeah.
Kill Bill Gates at it again. Yeah, it again.
But you want to know something? That what's a guy named like, because a couple weeks ago they had made a comment about that, and oh yeah, like they have what is it? What is it? Like, so they made that that big story. Oh, they're gonna look. They're like, they said they're gonna get rid of some of these food dyes, but they're replacing them with things like blue algae and other little chemicals, stuff like that. So, right. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, the thing with Gates is they got Bill Gates' agenda in full swing. The wearables they trying to promote you to wear now, initiatives. Larry Fink is now the interim head of WEF. So yeah, a couple of things in that thing going on right there. So, but you did mention private equity firms and stuff like that. Yeah, they've they got a development right here in Midlothian, up on Midlothian. They got a house. They ain't even, some townhouse they built, and they ain't even built yet. They say from the high 600s. They got signed it from the high 600s. It's right behind the damn Porsche dealership. Matter of fact, right? Porsche. What is it? What's the other one? Shit. Mercedes or something like that. Yeah, I forgot the damn name. It's so many. It's a bunch of luxury cars. You got Nissan across the street, Genesis down the street. As a matter of fact, they say the cars getting too expensive. People are taking out 7-year loans on the cars now instead of the typical 5-year one or 4-year one, whatever. So yeah, that's what people are doing now. I told the guy, shoot. I told the guy trying to sell me a Suburban $5,000. He had rims on it, music in it already. I said, well, what's on the dash, man? He said 160,000. I said, man, I don't know. I told him I get back with you on that, but I told him a Suburban. That's all you want, 5,000. My boy just sold a daggone Cadillac. Let's go for 28,000. I'm trying to find out what he got going on. Trying to sell a Suburban 5,000. That's kind of tough.
Right.
But here you go.
That they stop it before it does get here.
Texas cattle ranchers look south across the U.S.-Mexico border and see a creeping threat.
What we hear from our colleagues across the border is that it's probably moving quicker than is actually being reported.
They're referring to flesh-eating screwworms that haven't been seen in the U.S. in decades, but they fear the parasitic menaces could be heading north.
It's horrific what's going to happen if it gets out of hand.
60-year-old rancher Kip Dove is old enough to remember the last major outbreak of screwworms. He was only 8 years old when he spent countless days trotting up to sick and dying cattle on horseback in 1973 with a holstered revolver to shoot any animals too far gone to treat with medicine.
All we can do with the wildlife, if we come upon it, is pretty much put it out of its misery.
From 1972 to 1976, a screwworm outbreak in the United States infested tens of thousands of cattle across 6 states. The parasitic fly larva cost tens of millions of dollars to contain back then and was only defeated after a massive eradication effort. Now, ranchers in central Mexico are discovering the dreaded fly's maggots burrowed into their cattle for the first time in a generation. And experts say it's more likely than not that the fly will infest the U.S. again. Fausto Salinas Jr. is a rancher in Rio Grande City, Texas.
It does worry me as a rancher, but we'll see what happens.
Female screwworm flies lay hundreds of eggs in wounds on any warm-blooded animal. Once the eggs hatch, the larvae burrow through living flesh, feeding and enlarging the wound, and the smell is foul. Left untreated, the animal will die.
I want to be optimistic.
Isaac Suleimana, a rancher and attorney in Sullivan City, Texas, estimated his ranch would need at least 10 cowboys to monitor pastures during an outbreak. He only has 2.
Since we farm and ranch, we don't have the available workforce to be checking cows on a daily basis.
The issue has also alarmed Washington, which has halted cattle imports from Mexico and invested millions in setting up a new sterile fly production plant across the southern border, scheduled to open next year. There's already one operating in Pecora, Panama. Biologists at the Panama United States Commission for the Eradication and Prevention of Screwworm breed millions of sterile screwworm flies. The flies are blasted with radiation before they are released into hotspots, where the sterile males will mate with wild females to produce infertile eggs. Carlos Sanchez is a coordinator with the Joint Panama-U.S. program.
They don't even produce eggs. They're not capable of laying eggs. And the males we release don't manage to fertilize the females. They do produce sperm and mate with them, but the eggs these females lay in wounds are not viable.
It's an all-hands-on-deck effort to save cattle. Today, screwworm flies threaten $1.8 billion in damage to Texas economy alone, according to a U.S. Department of Agriculture estimate.
It's an issue that will affect every single person in one way or the other, because when you go to the store to get something to eat, you don't get much to eat without farmers and ranchers.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much that. But yeah, I do see. Now they also talk about ticks. Ticks are, invasive species of ticks, huh? Oh no! Let me play this because they talking about all these new wildfires.
This morning, millions waking up to extreme late summer weather. Heat, fires, and even a dust storm hitting the West, with oppressive temps in parts of California and Oregon.
Away they go!
Where a 200-mile trail race that started on Mount Hood ended with runners battling oppressive heat at the normally cool coast.
The weather was super intense, but we all made it through.
And firefighters in Oregon still battling more than 20,000 acres of raging fires with 0% containment. Heat and bone-dry conditions also fueling wildfires in California.
It just seems suddenly that they were right over our house, and we're right in the flight path.
Forcing evacuations in Napa County, the heart of wine country.
A lot of that heavier brush has been replaced by lighter fuel grass, which are easier to control.
Oh my God, something just picked up and blew into our RV. Oh my God.
In northern Nevada, the week-long Burning Man festival began with a freak dust storm. Western fires and heat causing wind gusts up to more than 50 miles per hour, wiping out some camps and severely limiting visibility. Some campers covered head to toe in dust. On the East Coast, cleanup continues after Hurricane Erin, which left eroded beaches and waterlogged roads in Delaware. The coasts of Maryland and Virginia, the famous wild horses are back on the beach, but some are still navigating the floodwaters, like this mother and her foal. And surfers.
Speaking of Hurricane Erin, that actually did cause waves on the beach the other day, but that was like in North Carolina and other places. Virginia didn't really, I mean, except for Virginia Beach and Norfolk and stuff like that. And all they did was move the concert they had out there onto the boardwalk and other areas instead on the sand. But then Saturday they had it right back regular where it was at. That ain't been the problem. I actually tell you the truth, this has been one of the mildest August I ever had. Like some areas, Virginia, we're gonna be in the 40s this week. Right, but like 60 in the morning, 82, 79 throughout the day, XYZ. It ain't been too hot. I mean, it's been more manageable than it was in July when it was fucking 100 degrees almost every damn day, or 90 degrees at best. But one morning I came, I said, damn, it's kind of chilly out here. I said, damn, I can see my breath out here. That's nice, right? Just damn, it's a cold summer day. But yes, the waves were out there, and people said the beach the other day was kind of cold. So of course they got wildfires going on here and stuff. So I mean, yeah, right. So here we go again, right? But that's how it goes, right? So we have to like really look at this in a different type of way, like weather patterns. That's how it goes. So I would just say that hurricane season is what they call it. It's not over, but it's not. I tell you, we talk about Hurricane Katrina this week, so get ready for that. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
That's a sight to see. I like that documentary. That's interesting.
Yeah, they had another like an explosion too. Couple now he go. I forgot to tell you about this. A dust storm.
Tonight, fires, wind, and heat causing extreme weather conditions across the West.
Oh my God, something just picked up and blew into our RV.
In northern Nevada, this is the scene at Burning Man. Wind gusts up to more than 50 miles per hour, causing a freak dust storm, wiping out some camps and severely limiting visibility at the start of the week-long festival.
The kitchen tent came down on top of people.
Videos showing some people head to toe covered in dust and clinging to poles trying to save their tents. Traffic to get inside the makeshift Black Rock City backing up for hours, with the National Weather Service also warning of possible monsoon thunderstorms. The scary conditions reminiscent of the disastrous mudpocalypse 2 years ago, when heavy storms left tens of thousands of attendees stranded. And in California, firefighters still battling that massive blaze in Napa County, now nearly 7,000 acres. Crews using aircrafts and dozers to gain control.
It's extremely rough territory. Some of it's cliffed out.
Burning since Thursday, the picket fire now 11% contained and moving away from the town of Calistoga. The flames still threatening multiple homes, properties, and vineyards.
We do have some evacuation orders. We hope to get those folks home as soon as possible.
The fire, one of several across the region. In Central Oregon, the flat fire now exploding to more than 20,000 acres with 0% containment. Another concern out west, the heat. 29 million people remain under heat alerts from Washington to Arizona. All of it fueling those dangerous fire conditions not expected to let up anytime soon.
Liz joins us now from Los Angeles. And Liz, some spots out west could set records for how hot it'll get in the next couple days.
Yeah, that's right, Holly. Spokane, Washington, and Portland, Oregon are all forecast to hit daily record highs in the
August, also marking.
All right, Dawson, there you go. Hurricane Katrina, 20 years later. Ain't that right to say right there?
Yeah, I see that. Mm-hmm.
On Netflix, they come hell and high water, or they really pumping this thing up. Oh, yeah.
I like to see all the lies they tell. I wonder if they gonna show how them bombs went out on them levees.
milestone. It's the 20th anniversary of the costliest and deadliest storm in modern history. We're talking about Hurricane Katrina. Meteorologist Max Paris takes a look back at the catastrophic and the systemic failures worsening its impacts.
This week marks 20 years since one of the deadliest storms in modern history struck the U.S., Hurricane Katrina. And the impacts of the storm intensified after levees were breached across New Orleans, causing Gulf waters to rush in, flooding 80% of the city, leaving so many stranded.
I'm very glad to be getting right here. I thank Jesus to be getting right here.
New Orleans, a vibrant city, is now a ghost town. It looks like something out of a doomsday scenario.
Hurricane Katrina slamming into the Louisiana shoreline on August 29th, 2005. A Category 5 in the open Gulf before weakening to a Category 3 at landfall with winds of 125 miles per hour. The natural disaster turning man-made after dozens of flood walls were breached, with multiple investigations finding the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was responsible for the infrastructure failure. That's the federal organization that built the protective barriers. As water levels quickly rose, residents were forced onto their rooftops, with the Coast Guard rescuing more than 33,000 people. But so many others killed in the extreme flooding, the death toll soaring to nearly 1,400. Meanwhile, 26,000 people sought shelter at the Superdome, which sustained substantial damage during the storm. In the aftermath, victims were forced to wait for aid, leading to widespread looting, with some victims stealing food and water from shuttered storefronts. Total, 1.5 million people were displaced by the hurricane, with 40% of those never to return home. Katrina causing $125 billion in damages, making it the costliest storm in U.S. history. And while the levees have been rebuilt, the scars from this catastrophe still run deep.
Max Paris, thank you for that. And the News Nation special, the Hurricane Katrina tapes, that airs tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern.
The Hurricane Katrina tape, dogs, and what the hell kind of shit is this? Hey, yeah, they call it the tapes. Well, I like to see the tail of the tape, but yeah, that's nice, right? That's nice. Tail of the tape, huh? Right? Hey, man, hey, look.
Yeah, I like to see what they are going to tell in that, but okay.
Well, they said the levee's been rebuilt, so I mean that's nice, but you ain't tell what happened with the levee.
Exactly.
So that was kind of like,
I wonder if they're gonna show that part where Kanye say, "Well, George Bush don't care about black people." I wonder if they're gonna show that in there.
No, they ain't gonna show that one.
Exactly.
Now, hey, look at this. Now, look at this here. Now, wait a minute. Why y'all keep showing this?
On August 24th, 2005, at 10:30 p.m.
You got this thing in slow motion. This thing hit people like a. Now, here you go. Look at this. Hurricane Katrina victims Superdome painting a horrifying picture. So what I'm letting you know is they got a lot of they was really, really talking about this thing kind of hard. That's what I'm just trying to do. See, so they just telling you there's a lot of stuff going on in this Hurricane Katrina thing. See what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I said, damn, y'all are hyping this up. Dang, I know it seemed like a movie back then, but oh yeah, y'all hyping it up. Good job, guys. Thanks for hyping it up. Of course, they showed the part with the Superdome.
This is a long-term project to help these people. And this
Wait a
country is
minute.
going
Go back. Go back.
This is a long-term project.
Now remember, I told you this. Remember, I told you this, Dawson. T.D. Jakes was one of George Bush's advisors. That T.D. Jakes right there.
Yeah. Him and a guy down here in Houston called Kirby John Caldwell. And he ended up going to federal prison.
Well, that's him and T.D. Jakes right there.
Yeah. There you go. T.D. Jakes, man.
That's George Bush, T.D. Jakes right there. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And a matter of fact, you had a guy in the DC, Maryland area named
Come,
Armstrong.
TD Jakes, come on here so you can keep the ends calm. Keep them calm. Yeah.
You had a boy named Armstrong Williams that was promoting George Bush's No Child Left Behind too. Down here.
Yeah, Armstrong Williams. He used to be on Sirius XM.
Well, yeah, he was
I
promoting.
didn't know he was promoting that bull crap. That make me look at him a different way now.
You better check out Armstrong Williams. Armstrong Williams got a lot of out of court settlements of affairs with men too.
You said, wait a minute. Well, hold on. What you say?
Hey, hey, look, Armstrong Williams had some out of court settlements with men too.
Yeah, I know. I figured he was playing on the other team, but wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's been talked about for some
He
time.
was worse than Bussy Lemonade, huh? Grabbing men. He was worse than them, huh?
Well, I need TD Jakes to sing me a song because he's standing right here with George Bush. Really, you know, like shit, man. Like, look at this shit. TD Snakes, so fakes, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What's in it? Hey, look, what's in the potter's house? It's a lot of money in the pot.
Oh, it is that part.
throw some money in the pot, you know, to the
all for the pastors, nothing for the community.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned this because I told you last week I sent you something about the Kroger spot. That's the restaurant that a lot of people go eat fish there. I go there sometime.
Yeah,
shooting out there. Two of the guys. One of the guys was AJ Buddy that got shot. The other guy he knew, but the guy it was like a shooting out there, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, because I had AJ, I said, right, what? You know the guy. Yeah, he's like, yeah, they was just eating. So I knew they had a Kroger spot because Kroger spot. This was on Sunday. A lot of people from church go there. You know, people from the local area go there. But now, check this out now. Remember I told you, AJ's shop used to be on Hall Street on the main strip. It used to be in the same strip with these, but when that thing happened, his other shop is on the back street of Bainbridge, right?
Okay.
So by that happened, he wasn't on that side of the street. He just happened to, when he came back home or whatever, he happened to see a lot of people out there. He just thought, accident or something. He didn't know that they had a shooting out there. So the lady who owned the restaurant, like a lot of people came back Monday and she had closed it down that day for like what they call mental health day for the employees or something, right?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like I tell you, people just got the shooting out there and stuff like that, and she didn't. Everybody know, what happened. So what I'm saying that people still don't have them because I can tell you, ain't nobody really, saying them. But it is two churches right there. As a matter of fact, I was out there in front of sitting out there one day, not ready to go in the AJ store, and white boy came up to me from the All Saints Church, and he had like, two of them came in suits, right? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, nothing much. And he said, you see that church? And I said, yeah. I said, what is your church? He like, you want to come there on Sunday? I was like, no. I said, why you asking me? He was like, well, I'm asking you. He must have looked at my license plate. He said, Mr. BJ. He said, have you been saved with the blood of Jesus? I said, no. I said, hey, you? Yeah, I was sitting right in front of AJ shop, man. That shit was funny as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I told him, I don't know. I told him one thing, that is a gentrified block because of the simple fact of I remember riding on them daggone street when I was young. A guy hit and run me. I was riding my bike. And my buddy said, man, you all right, B? You all right, man? I said, man, this man. Dude hit and run me on the bike, knocked me on the hit my head on the concrete, had a concussion there. That was
wow.
Like right in front of his shop, where his shop at. I'd be like, dang. I was like, so I was just talking to him about it. He was talking about we were talking about the property taxes and the city of Richmond and stuff like that. I think it's like 13% or something like that. This shit like
that's what we just dealing with here in Texas too. They trying to price people out their house.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. And me and him were talking about, that I told him straight. I told my boy that. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that got shot coming to shop all the time. Matter of fact, which is even worse. I told him to tell the guy stay up, but I said, I said, you talking about these snowflakes around this motherfucker. I'm talking about boys, you talking about these snowflakes around this motherfucker. I said, one thing about it, you can tell these people got to be, I'm gonna tell you, they got to be the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. I said, wait a minute, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The guy. I asked the guy, how much is that damn apartment that this guy paying for? He said these apartments around here sometimes called $1,500-$1,700. I said, how much they're gonna space these jumps got? And the dude told me some of these jumps ain't got 1,000 square feet, man. I said, these motherfuckers got to be the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I be damn. Shit. Hey, look. I said, look, man. I told the guy, man, sometimes I said, look, if I don't pay $1,700 and my mama was still alive, I say, mama, let me sit in your couch for probably about 3 months, man, to figure this shit out. I ain't sitting on the $1,700, 1,000, what? Less than 1,000 square feet. That's dead. That's dead. No, sir. Hey, look, I didn't want to feel like I was in the damn box. So the guy was like, oh no, B, that's all. He said, the studio apartment down there, man. I said, wait a minute, man, hold the fuck up. I said, wait a minute. I said, he like the studio apartment down the street downtown, that's even worse. I said, yo, now, the guy told me.
A conveyance or what man,
it's like, it's weird because a lot of these were tobacco factories and factories that got shut down. They gutted them out and turned them into apartments, right? Like one of them called Port City. The other one got a damn penthouse in the motherfucker, right? They got a club in there. My thing is, Hillside Court, the project right down the street. Yeah, what the fuck is up with this shit? But dad lived on the other side of the street over there in the neighborhood called Grove and shit. I'm like, yeah, like, what the fuck is up? Like, and I'm like, I said, man, I know these people ain't leak. In this that old factory Dawson was vacant for 30 years. They gutted that motherfucker out and made that motherfucker apartments, yo. And they charging people $2,000 a month to live in that bitch. I said, these motherfuckers got to be crazy, or they just paying whatever. Because I asked the guy, y'all saying you stand there? I know you ain't paying attention. He said, oh no, let me tell you what we're doing, B. We getting a bunch of, we getting 2 or 3 roommates or whatever to split the difference. I said, wait a minute. How many bedrooms do you have? 2 bedrooms, 3 roommates. I said, wait a minute, man, hold on. Let me get this straight. Hold on. I said, now what if one of y'all don't pay? He said, man, you right, man. He said, man, my roommate ain't paying right now. I said, what you mean?
Damn.
I said, my roommate asked me to borrow $600. I said, what? To pay that part of rent? Yeah. I said, you got paid back? He said, no. I said, I don't know, dog. You might be out of luck, bro.
Wow.
I said, hey, look, definitely these guys in their 30s or whatever, right? But how about tell people, you got to be like, you got to know, like, when this stuff, like, you market. As a matter of fact, before I go, I'm gonna one or two things in the private equity thing, because I actually tell you that's who buying up all these property right this motherfucker for real.
That's
they buying up a lot of these private property. But TDJ, you probably don't say that in this video. You just look like you standing behind George, but like to help a little bit. But I see you with that nice shiny bald head.
It's like to help.
I'm looking at you, TDJ. It's like, man, hey, look, man. But while you're at it, people in Hurricane Katrina still probably would like to know how much money did you put up, brother? Or did you even open the church for the people?
How much money?
Like I told the guy the other day, I told the lady the other day, she said something about, I told her, tell your grandma, look, she can holler, yell, scream, jump for Jesus, or whatever. But hey, I told her when she die, make sure she say, Pastor, can you at least pay for my funeral?
Yeah, right.
I said, shit, I wishful thinking, wasn't it? But I gotta see. Because my buddy, matter of fact, good buddy, his mom died last Monday. And I just
Chak was saying you were saying something about your friend went to the hospital and didn't come out or something.
I was dealing with him since last week. Me and him, I talked to him a couple of times, but I had seen his brother. That was one of the craziest things ever. That last week. Just look, Dawson. Wednesday, the lady called me. She actually texted me, and then she called me back. So I was like, all right, fine. I'm gonna take a break this weekend. I'm gonna be able to do stuff. Having up here all weekend. Work out with him. My homeboy, he about to have surgery, for his dialysis. He about to finally get it in his arm. Something was going on with his insurance, but he getting the port out of here and getting in his arm, right? Okay. So I was like, he was like, look, we had a death in the family. We got an illness in the family. Somebody else, I was like, so you can cancel shit? Like, yeah, but you always looked out for us. You see, I said, look, don't worry about it. I ain't worried about it. Send $50 anyway. It's 11:30. It's Friday night. She said, you know what? We got to reconsider. Look, she like, look, let's just go ahead and have it. Me and my twin sister, we're going to head apart anyway. Man, I went out in the sticks, Dawson. I was out in the sticks. Damn. Carolina County. I have service out there for like 7 hours. 5 hours. Because it's out in the country, man. It ain't like, it's out in the country. I mean, it was inside like an administration building. They had no alcohol, none of that, but it was nice, and they thanked me for coming out. So I asked them, what happened? And they told me about, her having a procedure, and she was supposed to have a procedure on something and never came out. And I asked him, so I asked him, I said, look, man, I know you going through stuff and blah, 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 but I said, look, keep in touch with me. He was like, be the funeral Thursday. He was like, look, I done went back to work already because I ain't want to get depressed. He was like, I would drive myself crazy in the house. I said, yeah, man, just, let me know what's up. So I said, but look, after his funeral gets straight, you need to find out what happened in the hospital because you need to find out what happened in the hospital because you might, need to get some money or something like this or something to find out what's going on in the hospital because I said that could happen to somebody else too.
That's right.
He like, yeah, B. He like, he like, yeah, thanks for looking. He been going through a lot of stuff, man. He going through it. He going through a woman that don't want to sign divorce papers and all this other crazy. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of shit going on here. I've been doing.
I see the street still going on with these men getting away from these crazy ass women. They divorcing their ass left and right. I think.
Yeah, because I thought
the street's still going on.
I told you
ain't nobody talking about that though.
I told you last year, I thought that she filed for divorce. No, that was him. Right? Yeah. I said, well, he said my ex-wife. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Y'all ain't divorced yet? He's like, no. He's like, she won't sign the papers. I like, what? You won't sign them. Matter of fact, check this out. Somehow, some way, she got in contact. I don't know if she went to Facebook, whatever she did. Got in contact with his new girl. He's dating now, right? She told him that she wanted her husband back and showed him how to do the job and cut your fucking cob, god damn it.
What?
Yeah, she told him you gonna come back to me, I'll throw a brick in your shit.
What?
Yeah, so he dealing with
that's gonna make him come back though. Okay.
Yeah, crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. I told him, bro, you've been dealing with this shit all summer, bro. He like, yeah, man. He was like, man, that was mom and dad, man. He was like, man, this shit crazy, man. Blah, blah, blah. So I told him, bro, look, get over this first, right? Get over this. I just look. I said, he's like, man, you know how it is, mom and dad. I said, yeah, it sucks. It's fucking bullshit. But I said, I said, sooner or later, I said, I told my mom and dad for 7 years, I said, sooner or later, just look, gradually just, do things to keep you, me, I told him it was personal training, DJing or something, but you got to find something because I tell you don't want to sit there and just, I said, look, I mean, there's no, I'm just telling you, though. It's like, I used to hate it when people would come to me and say, well, just being this, I'll just say, I don't like when people come to me telling me she watching over you, she coming back to, no, you ain't got to tell me all that. Look, I'm just lying, man. I had people get mad with me. You don't go to this cemetery enough. You don't do this. You don't do that. I said, look, man, just let me relax, right?
Everybody grieve in their own way.
I said that because when you put pressure on people to do that, right? Really to tell you the truth, that I mean, let's be, it's sad to say this, right? I mean, you've been to funerals just like I have. Everybody, Chak, you've been to funerals.
Yeah, we just my cousin just lost her mom unexpectedly. She had a massive heart attack and died. But my cousin, she a little different because she go part of that part of the Bible would say you don't supposed to mourn, but you're supposed to celebrate. So she took it well.
Yeah, I mean, today I was out and I finally saw the lady who her husband, I told you about him, died probably about a couple months ago. I told you he's a security guy, he used to be on all them roids and shit.
Yeah.
And I asked her, what happened to him? Because I never talked to the wife. I always talked to the son. The son, he would say, hey, he didn't see me in passing or whatever. I asked her, because the wife, hey, you could find out most stuff. You asked her, right? I was just thinking.
Right.
Because I saw her, and I just happened to be riding through, and I said, I was on the way, what was that? I was on the way to the gym. No, I think I was on the way to the gym or something, but I happened to see her, and I was like, yeah, what happened? Because they were towing the Lexus out the yard. So I'm like, okay. So, yeah, they were towing the Lexus. So obviously, you might have got the junkyard or something to get it. And I said, what happened to my guy, man? He used to look out at me, when I was, I said, he was a bouncer. As a matter of fact, I said, he ain't really trained me to be a bouncer, but one day I did do some private security at the club, whatever. And he was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. I said, what happened to him? She was like, well, he waiting on 2 transplants, a kidney and a liver transplant. And when they did the procedure, now wait a minute. When they did the procedure, something went wrong with his heart when they were trying to do the procedure. I'm like, that don't sound right. Like, no, something going on. So I'm looking at it twofold now. I'm looking at what happened to my boy.
Yeah.
Mama, and I'm looking at what happened with her husband. Okay. So these people ain't slipping up on all these damn procedures. Like, no.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. It ain't happening that much with people slipping around with procedures. So I said this. So, like I said, going to hospitals, watch it. Because like the guy said, you talking about like, what is it called? Oral procedures or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, he asked them, they ask you the question sometimes, do you want what is it, anesthesia or laughing?
Yeah, anesthesia.
He said, I'm gonna start telling the ass, give me the fucking laughing gas, man. He said, this fucking knock. He said, shit. He said, I might be knocked out, but I'm gonna be knocked out where I can see shit. He like, he said he don't know he wanna get knocked out where he can't see.
Oh shit, they be taking people out with that shit too.
Mm-hmm. With the laughing gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be. See, either way, they gonna put you out. Because even when I used to have my procedures, they didn't put me on the like. I wasn't. Well, I only had to be intubated one time because I had a procedure. They had to get a I don't know. Like it wasn't a blood vessel, but it was like some tissue on the back of my. I just remember one time I nipped myself with my toothbrush, trying to clean under my tongue, and it swelled up some tissue and the muscle of the tongue. Anyway, And I kept telling them, I don't want to be out. Like, I don't want to, just do me with the regular fentanyl and shit. Man, they had to put me on there and put that tube down my mouth. But it's okay. But other than that, even when I do my procedures for my back, they still gonna put you out with that damn fentanyl. Fentanyl, I should say fentanyl. Let me say the medical. The
University of
fentanyl.
Arkansas.
So it's hard to get away from it. That's all. It's just some of the procedures, like when I had to have dental work on my mouth, the lady I'm glad I talked to my dentist, she was trying to say, oh, you gotta go under. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to think about that because I don't want to go under. And my dentist was like, no, you don't have to go under. You could just do local. I say, yeah, because I want to be awake. Okay. And I'm glad I did, because when they went to try to take an x-ray after my dental work, the screw thing almost slipped down my throat, but I caught it in time. I said, see, this is why I wanted to be awake.
You're right. Yeah, like I said, sometimes, being awake and hearing the daggone with the chilling and gnawing and but hey, look, that's just
not as bad. It wasn't too bad because it was just more pressure. You couldn't feel anything, but you could feel certain things. You could feel, but it was more like pressure, right? Just pressure. Well, but you didn't feel really, too much pain. So, but yeah, I'm glad I did it because see, that's what I'm saying. They do that shit, and then you end up in a serious situation. That's sad that happened twice. Wow.
And look, check this out. And one time, believe it or not, the dentist had told me, he's like, why you on the phone? I said, hold on, I said, wait a minute, time on, bro. You trying to operate on me, right? I said, yo, you just told me that my blood pressure was too high for you to do something, right?
Yeah.
So I told him, I really ain't too big a fan of needles anyway. So I said, you might well, I said, you can do this. You might well, let me talk to this woman on the phone I'm talking to. Wait till you claim my levels drop and then do that. He like, damn, you ain't lying. It did work. I said, hey, man, I told you, right? I said, just relax. He's like, yeah. I said,
they be trying to rush and shit. Like I tell them, my mouth up, don't come back for 15, 20 minutes because I want to be I have a high pain tolerance, but that tooth pain, that's something different. Yeah.
Shoot, and look.
That shit something different.
See, motherfucker trying. A lot of these dentists are now trying to give a lot of root canals too, man. Yeah.
I know the dentist I go to now, he saved 2 of my teeth from one because he was like, a lot of them do that for money.
Yeah, of course.
Just for money. But if that tooth ain't like, I think he say 70 or 80% damage, the tooth can be saved. You don't need no root canal.
What these girls get? What that girl told you? What did the girls talk about one time a couple years ago? Talking about BJ, she like, I got I'm gonna get them veneers or what is it? Veneers. She get the veneers. Yo, just oh no, Chak, you out there? Hey, Dawson, I ain't gonna say. You don't give a shit. Don't worry about what I'm saying. But I said, damn. I said, you got veneers. Showed me something else too that was a little bit unappalling. Well, I can say it was unappalling. I'm gonna say I know that she got a high pain tolerance because I know where you got that ring at is she got a ring in her private part. So I said this motherfucker got a high pain tolerance. All right.
Yeah, she weird. Yeah.
Hey, look. I said, yo. I like, what you trying to tell me? She was like, I'll put it this way to you. Let's put it this way. Send me a picture of choker. I said, damn. I said, you out there.
You might want to steer clear that one.
Oh, yeah, well, so I said, a choker. I said, what the hell is going on? And
Yeah,
she said, this mama texts me in caps. She was like, I like to choke, but I don't slap without permission. I said, this is some wild shit. I said, yo. But I will say this, that so when these mother talk about veneers and these types of procedures, you got to ask the question, what kind of shit is you really into? So when they start talking about that, because the veneers and all that, has anybody ever looked at the cost of these veneers and all this other shit? Like, really?
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, they really expensive.
And I'm not sure if your insurance pay for this stuff, but
no,
let me play this right quick.
No, that's cosmetic. No.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
not unless it's medically related. Say if you was in a car accident or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then the medical will pick it up and you lost your teeth. That's different.
All right. Well, here we go. The University of Arkansas shooter reports appear to be a hoax.
I joined a growing list of colleges today disrupted by fake calls designed to terrify the campus and the town.
And with so many current families and alumni spread across Arkansas, today false reports of an active shooter served to terrify the whole state. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Faith Woodard.
And I'm Rolly Hoyt. Our colleagues at our sister station in Northwest Arkansas give us a recap of the events that left nobody hurt, but many, many people shaken.
All units assigned at McAway Avenue. Levi's. There's still no good info on an active shooter. It sounds like everyone's getting alerts on their phone and hiding out.
Like everyone got white. Like everyone came to realization, like, is this a shooter or is this a cop, like, helping us? Like, we have no idea.
It's only the second week of classes, and already U of A students have experienced a lockdown.
The alert came through saying that there was a report of an active shooter in the library where I was. I got up, moved into a staff office, moved into a supply closet.
That first call came from Mullins Library around 12:30. UAPD Assistant Chief Matt Mills says the calls spread rapidly.
We received a total of 308 landline phone calls and 38 911 calls that covered 7 different buildings on campus, all reporting either a suspect or shots fired, an active shooter event.
The university sent out an alert urging students to avoid, deny, and defend. Some sat in lockdown for about an hour.
Avoid, if you can get out and take as many people with you as you can. If you cannot, then deny access, barricade the doors, turn off the lights, and prepare to defend yourself if a threat comes in.
Multiple law enforcement agencies swept campus buildings.
If you looked at the emergency vehicles that were lined up down Maple Street, you could see how seriously we take these types of calls.
Mills says hoax or not, the response is always real and those responsible will face consequences.
I hope the parents understand that as they see the response from the law enforcement on scene, how important their child's safety is to us. Every child, every staff member, every faculty member, their safety is our paramount concern.
As for what's next, investigate.
Hello, hoax, but I tell you, they be doing these hoaxes and shit. But that's the Arkansas football season actually about to start. I think this weekend too as well. Yeah, so another little thing to think about.
Yeah, because colleges and universities just started school. I think my son started last week. Yeah, he started last week. And I think his friend started today.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, since we bring up since we bring up football, as a matter of fact, here is what's that guy? What's his name? Here he is. And they will be playing.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Spartans of Norfolk State in full swing of training camp under first-year head coach Michael Vick. The season opener against Towson, August 28th.
Matter of fact, that's
August 28th, rapidly approaching, and it's a group that's re-energized to restore the pride in the green and gold on the gridiron. Okay, welcome into the show and happy Monday, everyone. This morning at Dick Price Stadium, we were there to catch about 20 minutes of the open part of Norfolk State's practice. There's a lot of new names that will be contributing to the 2025 team and a lot of new leaders that are changing the culture. James Catato has more.
We know where we stand. We know where we sit. We know where we coming from, but just because you're at the bottom don't mean you got to stay there.
Pretty powerful stuff there from first-year Norfolk State head football coach Michael Vick as the Spartans open up fall camp today and are now only 3 weeks away from a brand new era of Spartan football. Hi, everyone. I'm James Catato coming to you from Dick Price Stadium, the location where Norfolk State will open its season week 1 under the lights August 28th against Towson. This Vic-led era, this Vic-led team at Norfolk State feels different. It feels a lot more intense during practice today. If you ask Coach Vic what the big difference is between spring ball to now, they are coming, and they are looking to turn this program.
I think he's got a few D1 athletes that came there as well. So, yeah. Vic is out there. Unfortunately, the young lady is they've been talking about Allen Iverson. I guess they must have saw Allen Iverson last week in Newport News. I mean that ain't amazing to me because Allen Iverson's from Newport News, but they're saying that they say Allen Iverson's an asshole or whatever. They would try to talk to him at the car or something. He won't trying to talk or something like that. I don't know. I like, look, man. I don't seen Iverson basketball camps or whatever, man. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Like I said, yeah. I mean, some people say yeah, so maybe he didn't want to sign an autograph that day. I don't know. But yeah, Mike Vick, he's so they actually play Thursday. So that's the first game of Michael Vick. They had first takedown there last week or whatever. So I think they're gonna air Virginia Union on Sunday, HBCU game, and this will be on NFL Network.
Is Norfolk State a HBCU? What is it?
Yeah, it's HBCU.
It's HBCU? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but yeah, Michael Vick is, a lot of people saying he doesn't have any coaching experience, but Norfolk State is in the MEAC. They play in the, they actually won a game in the NCAA tournament in basketball, come to think about it, in 2012 or 11. I forgot who they beat. They beat the number 2 team in the country a year, but it was a while back. I think they had a boy named, might have been Queen or something. I think his name was Derek Queen. I got to go back and look it up. But Norfolk State is right before you get to Virginia Beach. And it's in 7 cities. I mean, I'd be there all the time. I mean, actually, they play Virginia State University on the 6th. So me and my buddy, we got to go to do this event down in Roger Brown's. That's out there in Portsmouth. That's where, what's the girl name? Missy Elliott is that. So that's all about, that's in the 7 cities. I mean, good people. They got some rough parts around there, but I mean, for the most part, Michael Vick is out there. I mean, the first, haven't heard it. I don't know. Maybe I told my buddy, maybe I should go to a game. Maybe I might get to run into some Peter guys or something. Shit, I mean, you still got people, you still got clowns there. You're still mad about that shit, man. Really, I said, look, man. Hey, look, man. I said, look, Peter, you'll get mad at that. Motherfuckers cockfighting. I told you, man. Shit, I know a dude hit a fucking deer in the middle of the street. No. My boy, his aunt hit a deer in the middle of the street. She was trying to, like get a picture of the deer, to call the cops and shit like that. She said Chinese man pulled up on the road, put that deer in the truck, rode off. The police said what it did. She was like, you ain't gonna believe this. Chinese man picked the deer, put it in a flatbed truck and drove off.
He finna cook that meat for his restaurant.
I know. Picked that deer out in the middle of the street, left her ass. So she had to report to the insurance company and shit. And luckily, she, the police, they saw the blood of the deer, whatever. They let it go, but technically, you're supposed to have them pictures of the deer and stuff like that. But she said she was just shocked and stuff that she hit a deer and shit like that. You hit a deer.
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
hit a deal, something you driving home work at 11:30 at night. You hit a deal. That's game time right there. That's like,
Yeah.
She ain't always the sometimes she was like 60 years old or 62 at the time or something. So shit. She get ready to tie something, you hit a deal, and gotta wait for people to come get you, car total.
Oh wow.
So yeah, she hitting the deal. You gotta think how.
Yeah, didn't they happen to Victor in his car? Didn't he hit a deer? A deer hit his Victor.
We just have confirmed the death.
Yep, hit a deer. My mom hit a deer one time out there in Goochland when I was a kid. Hey, a deer would tear your fucking front end up.
I see. Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, if it's a buck, they'll charge the car too. If it's a buck, more antlers, they'll charge
yeah, I know that. Yeah, they'll charge you. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, here you go. You were saying this. How private equity will break America's housing.
Yep.
Of a Blackstone executive. Her name is Wesley.
The Blackstone business executive was among the 4 people killed in Monday's shooting rampage in Midtown.
So if you scroll through the comments of these videos, you'll see that Wesley LaPartner's death wasn't mourned by anyone. So what exactly did this evil CEO do? After the 2020 crash, Blackstone and other PE firms started buying real estate around the Sunbelt states. And fast forward to today, and the average homes in previously affordable areas like Atlanta and Florida are, well, no longer affordable. But hold on, that makes zero sense. I thought private equity was providing high-level solutions to the housing crisis, or at least...
That was a Carlyle Group. Now, Carlyle Group, that's Glenn Youngkin.
That's what the CNBC video would have you to believe.
Wow. We invested $425 million of capital since we acquired Skytown. That shows up in lots of different ways.
So obviously I wasn't going to get answers from a Gluck session for private equity. So I wanted to explore sides to find out the truth about this housing crisis. But what I found goes beyond the rise of corporate landlords. Private equity has turned housing into a high-stakes bet that now millions of everyday people are playing in, and you have zero idea about it. And if the private equity game spreads to the entire U.S. housing market, well, I'll let you take a guess on what could happen next.
Infiltration of investors into the California housing market. And honestly, it shows no signs of slowing down.
If you give these guys money, they're going to buy your mom's house. That is what they're going to do. People can't afford homes anymore. And if the American dream means owning your own place, then that dream is a fantasy.
Wow. Yep.
So before we dive in, let me get the fear mongering that you're probably thinking about out the way. No, this is not going to lead to another 2008 style global financial meltdown. But there are real stakes for you that go beyond you possibly never being able to own a home. And to understand this, you first need to see what private equity is actually doing in the housing market and why their business model might be a ticking time bomb. And to explore all sides, I wanted to bring on a vice president at a private equity real estate firm to say his piece.
I've been working on the street since 20 on the investment side and obviously also in the resident side too.
You used to work at Blackstone, right? Or was it BlackRock?
I was at BlackRock. It was the first job out of college. And it was an amazing.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna come back to this in a second, though. I'm gonna show you something. Remember, I just told you about that new neighborhood, Midlothian Depot, because I've been seeing the sign out there, right?
Okay.
Now they say from the 600s. Now on the note outside, it's even high 600. But let's just play that. Let's play that game. Okay, right here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it say luxury boutique mixed use community in Honolulu, Virginia.
Yeah, I see it. From the 600s. Damn.
Yeah, this right up the street now. About less than 10 minutes. Now, you see that? All that right there?
Yep.
That's Dawson, ain't nothing but dirt there. Like that shit ain't got one damn apartment built yet.
That's just the model, right? That's the model.
Man, Dawson,
Wow.
the trees there. I ride by one day, all the trees gone. I go pick my nephew that way every Sunday from up there from his program, right?
Yeah.
So I came on the back road. I said, where the trees at? I said, let me go back on the other side. Next thing I know, I said, what's they building here? Oh, the guy said, well, I don't know what they're building there, man, because Burlington right across the street. I said, give it about 2 days. Now, well, look at this. You must close on this home by 8:31. That is Sunday.
Wow.
Your rates are low as 4.99%, right? See home specialist for details. So that's basically, these motherfuckers ain't got a damn apartment a town's on the damn ground yet. Right? Of course, you got the more guy. Let me just read it. Introducing Midlothian to a premier mixed-use community redefining luxury development of Harlem Midlothian. This thoughtfully designed 13-acre development at the intersection of Midlothian Turnpike and Alvesta Drive. Matter of fact, they got the movie theater back there behind it, by the way. I forgot to mention that. I think they got movie theater, Habitat for Humanity, Wegmans, a farmer's market. Of course, they got Chesterfield Town Center Mall, Raising Cane's, Best Buy, First Watch, Carver. So I'm telling you all these places around there because I'm around there all the time. That don't sound like no mixed-use development to me. I'm just letting you know. Now watch this. Oh, wow. Got it right here. Hold on. Let's read this thing. Hold on. We'll feature approximately 60 upscale townhomes offering amenities in private garages nestled amidst courageous green spaces and a dog park. Anchored by Chesterfield County's first Whole Foods market. Didn't I just tell you it's like a farmer's market somewhere around there? They telling you what's here. The 36,000 square foot organic grocery store. Or they're making one actually. They're making a Whole Foods out there too. So they might take that back. That's the farmer's market they got right there. They're about to make a Whole Foods over there. Excuse me. Will be complemented by an additional 48,000 square feet of high-end retail space. Residents enjoy access to boutique shopping, dining, and wellness options, all with a pedestrian-friendly environment designed for community engagement. Midlothian Depot offers a unique opportunity to experience sophisticated connected living in one of Virginia's most violent location. You can join the VIP list today, and then you can, they got Robius, James River, and the schools around here, and then they got all these restaurants like Torch and Raising Cane's and Firebirds and all that other stuff. And then you check all this area. But what I'm letting you know is this thing saved from the 600s. I said, well, damn, who the fuck gonna be living over this bitch? That's the first thing I asked because I said from the 600s. I'm not saying like my aunt lives out there. I mean, you do got people with some money out here, but this but a lot of stuff is farther up. But then, like I told you, they got the Porsche dealership, I think the Subaru dealership, Nissan. Right. So everything they're doing is going to be basically within Washington. I said, I was talking about smart cities earlier in D.C. or 15-minute cities, and this is in the county now. This ain't in the city. It's getting deep in the county too. So what I'm saying is, basically, you can walk to Wegmans. Now, me personally, these people they ain't from here. I ain't walking across goddamn Midlothian Turnpike in the middle of the day. Them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. That's something they have to learn on that one. But what I'm saying is that they gonna have Wegmans. Maybe they got Sam Club and Walmart too. Food Line, you gotta go up the hill, but they got Sam Club and Walmart too. So yeah, it's another store there. What the other store, Dawson? They got Ross. Was it Ross, Burlington, Five Below? They got a Home Depot around there too. But anyway, everything is in a 5-minute radius. They ain't really got to work that hard. Let's put it like that. I think they even got a Chanelos around there. But I know they say
like a little smart city, huh?
County. I mean, I tell you, man, every time you in the county now, man, they building more shit. And I'm like, damn. I say, yo, I'm like, they building more shit around this bitch. But private equity,
yeah.
But I wasn't on the real estate side then. Currently, I work at a real estate company where we buy and develop real estate. 80% of our portfolio is in housing across multifamily, senior housing, and housing.
And I'm guessing also there's probably more money in private equity real estate, right?
Well, not right now. The market's been pretty tough because interest rates are so high. And on the other side, I'd say that real estate is more on the stagnant side.
So we'll come back to him, but first, let me explain to you how firms like Blackstone are making money as America's landlord. In my private equity video, I showed you how firms like Blackstone buy a bunch of companies using leveraged buyouts. And they're doing the same for real estate. So let's say as private equity, you can buy 1,000 homes for $100 million. Private equity will put like 20% of their own money and borrow the rest from banks like JP Morgan. So once they own the homes, tenants obviously start moving in and ideally start paying rent every single month. But here's where it gets interesting. They then take those 1,000 homes generating $10 million per year, let's say, and bundle it into a bond to sell to investors worldwide. And what happens next is pension funds, wealthy individuals, now even universities start buying a slice of this bond to get monthly payouts from the rent plus interest. I'll get to all that later. But anyways, these are called backed securities. And your rent payment just became a part of a global financial product. Then the cycle continues where private equity uses that money to buy up more homes. And just like when they buy up a bunch of companies, they borrow a bunch of money so they can buy a bunch of these homes faster. And just like with companies, if home values or rents start going up, so do their profits. But that's not even how they make the real money. So is it fair to say that you probably make the most from those performance fees?
I would say in a good market and your investments are doing well, the performance fees are generally like where you will make a lot of money. But if the market's not doing very well, then the asset management fees will really keep the lights on and pay the salaries and things like that.
But the thing is, this performance fee only gets taxed 20% instead of the regular 37% income tax rate. And I'll also get into this later, but it's a loophole they fought hard to protect. So it's important you understand this too.
Let me say something about that. Now, these, what they call it, real estate companies, right?
Right.
They say they renting. So that also means, guess what? These people that's in these homes, they don't even probably own a damn home. They renting on a luxury fucking down house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that this, and they said back securities and all that, right?
Right.
Really tell you the truth. Me and the guy had this conversation. Realtor. Nice guy, but he was getting kind of on my nerves a little bit because I was telling him, bro, I said, wait a minute, bro. You selling these homes or whatever. I said, you got these securities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got security on the bitch anyway. So guess what? When a person lose out, guess what? They still winning, right? They still winning. Yeah. Even if that you get a foreclosure, remember, foreclosure means you lose out. They really don't lose because they can sell the house. They just want to get something back off it.
There you go.
Okay, now he was talking about those bonds, investments, and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that go to show you. They bought 1,000 homes in that case study used for $100 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time closing costs, down payments, all that, man, that's dropping the bucket, man. Shit, that's nothing, right? That's nothing. But what I'm saying is that they know that people right now are saying, hey, I want this. Now, the only thing about these luxury homes, if you look at it, to me, I just be down, which to me is kind of boring because all this shit look the exact same. I mean, god damn. I mean, do everything got the damn same, man. Ain't no, like, you know, there's no uniqueness in it. It's like, shit. Matter of fact, I want to know. I told the guy straight up. I said, what'd you say? You got your flood insurance? I said, no, I'm good. No. I said, look, I said, what you talking about? He's like, oh, no, they got that creek back there. I said, oh, really? Oh, yeah. I said, okay. You know what? Come think about it. This would have been the year forward, too, because I told you early this summer, my boy in the neighborhood where I go to all the time, they got that hill on Arch Road. Man, he couldn't even get out that part of his neighborhood. He had to go the other way up Midlothian because the creek had overflowed and they couldn't even get past the thing to go up the hill because the water was so high. We had all that flooding in July.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's why I didn't get the townhouse over there, because I knew when they had told me about the flood insurance. I'm like, did you really want it? With the flood insurance. I said, well, wait a minute, you trying to say it's flood? He said, well, it's not a flood zone, but they do got a creek there, so that's what they have. Well, guess what, buddy? 7 years later, you find out what? Yes, that motherfucker could have goddamn flooded.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, but that's why they say, what they say, hindsight is 2020, but I just say the weather storms and the manipulation are 100%. Because I told you, we were getting a storm every fucking day around the same time, 3 o'clock. Monsoon, 4 o'clock, sunny again. 2 o'clock next day, monsoon. 4 o'clock, let's go outside and play again. Power energy and this, that, and the third. Matter of fact, boy just had power last week. He said, man, I ain't got no, what's up? Nothing. Our power. I said, it didn't rain last night? He like, no, my power is out. He like, what about your neighbors across the street? They're zone. I'm like, interesting. But like I said, when you come to this private equity with all these firms, when you look, you gotta know. Speaking of that, and now we're talking about Blackstone. That's what he's talking about, because Blackstone just is what I call one of them. But Blackstone and BlackRock is another one. Blackstone private equity. Yeah, so they like, and they got, they don't just got private equity. They got private credit. They got private. They got a lot of
they trying to Blackstone. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they making a move. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
Now what's the other one I tell you about Youngin? Because Youngin is a private. As a matter of fact, come think about it, they voted down a data center in Chesapeake County. They said, you know what? We're just gonna move it to Richmond City, and now Richmond City about to be a big data hub.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here you go. What is the Carlyle Group?
What is the Carlyle Group? Have you ever wondered how some investment firms become giants in the financial world? One such firm is the Carlyle Group. Founded in 1987 in Washington, D.C., it has made a significant mark in private equity. The Carlyle Group was established by 3 individuals, E. Conway Jr., Daniel A. Daniello, and David M. Rubenstein. David Rubenstein, with his background as a lawyer and government official, played a key role in shaping the firm's vision and growth. Initially, the Carlyle Group started with just $5 million from a handful of investors. It began as a boutique investment bank, but quickly shifted its focus to leveraged buyouts and private equity investments. Over the years, it has transformed into one of the largest private equity firms globally, managing hundreds of billions of dollars in assets. The Carlyle Group has expanded its reach across the globe, with offices on multiple continents. Its diverse portfolio includes investments in various industries such as aerospace, defense, healthcare, and technology. The firm is well known for raising substantial funds from institutional investors, which has allowed it to make strategic acquisitions and investments worldwide. David Rubenstein's role as a co-founder and managing director has been instrumental in the firm's success. His blend of financial knowledge and public service experience has helped the Carlyle Group navigate complex markets. This unique
Now you see that they invest in aerospace, defense, healthcare, and technology.
I saw that. Yeah, I was listening to that. Wow.
So, yes. Now, I mean, you
But
do
they've been bankrupting some of these little healthcare industry and healthcare clinics.
You know what? Yes, let me play that before I go. You are exactly right. Healthcare clinics are closing. That is exactly right. Because actually, tell you the truth, we got some of them around here that's, I ain't gonna say closing, but they are they on the last legs. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
They because like, matter of fact, they closing, and they kind of like, it's weird because, oh, here it is. Well, that's not it. But yeah, some of them closing. Well, Walgreens is closing 47 health clinics too. So yeah, so that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
But this is happening today.
Welcome to WMAR News at 6. I'm Jeff Morgan. After months of negotiations, United Healthcare and Johns Hopkins were unable to strike a deal by today's deadline, causing 60,000 patients to lose their network coverage. WMAR News' Blair Sable spoke to those affected and explains what happens now.
They just want you to die, I guess. I don't know. So they don't have to pay for it.
Jean Blouse has spent all day on the phone trying to figure out her next steps. Having lived with rheumatoid arthritis for the last 30 years, doctors now believe it's begun to attack her lungs, making it hard to breathe. Her insurance is United Healthcare, and her entire team of doctors is at Johns Hopkins, which as of Monday is now out of the insurance's network.
I just want to live a regular life. You know, it's just, everything's up in the air because I need to get these tests done, and I can't afford to go and have them done and not be covered.
She is one of 60,000 who have been in limbo for months while these negotiations stalled. So is Alicia Canup, who's receiving treatment for pancreatic neuroendocrine cancer.
People don't go to Hopkins because they have a nosebleed. People are going to Hopkins for serious life-threatening illnesses, you know, and sometimes ones that only Hopkins in this entire area treats.
The insurance company says despite trying to find a middle ground, the hospital system has maintained demands that UHC says would harm employers, including discretionary patient denial by the hospital. Meanwhile, the healthcare system blames UHC's excessive prior authorization requirements and frequent treatment denials for the impasse.
They make it difficult for the physicians to practice for their patients. So that's what we're hearing over and over again, and that's one of the frustrations.
Gene Ransom is the CEO of the Maryland State Medical Society, or MedChi. While both sides have pointed the finger at the other, Ransom believes the blame leans heavily to one side.
And this is just an example of the insurance company being more concerned about their quarterly stockholder report than the patients they insure.
In the meantime, United Healthcare has encouraged patients to apply for continuity of care, which allows them to extend their current coverage, but only in specific cases like active pregnancies or cancer treatment. Canup began that process last week, but says it took her 4 hours on the phone to find the right forms.
It was in a place that no one would ever look.
She's still waiting to hear back as she debates whether she can go to her appointment this week, and so is Blouse.
So I don't know what to do. It's like I'm stuck.
If you are affected by this change and are denied any continuity of care, Ransom is encouraging you to file with the Maryland Insurance Administration, and you can find out how to on our website at.
Well, ain't that something? So that's that just happened today, matter of fact. So,
I saw that, but it happens in United Healthcare. Well, that's what I used to work for Medicare Advantage company, and I started losing a lot of clients, and I didn't know why. And it was because the same thing. Insurance company the doctors do all these different pre-authorizations. They deny claims, all because they want to try to save $1. And if they stock prices, like you said, they don't make a certain amount of money on a quarterly level, then they start cutting back on stuff. Even on Obamacare, all them insurance companies, and they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Well,
You pay all
pharmacy.
They shouldn't allow them to do that.
Well, and this is why I always say, hey, look, like I was I was talking to the lady today, she was calling me about supplements and all this stuff. She's talking about she get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, take all these supplements. I told her, you can do all that you want. I said, look, best thing to do, hey, look, don't listen to these clown ass doctors about that these supplement plans. They can try to have a medication plan next. So you might need to calm down. I said, look, just eat what you're supposed to eat. You don't eat a lot of junk, but you got to stay on top of it. I said all these supplement stuff. I mean, they got everybody. See, they got these people spooked out in this protein thing, man. It's kind of sometimes kind of like hard to deal with, the protein shake and all. I don't know them. I mean, I know about it, of course. I mean, but no, like you just have to like you gotta think, man. Like all this stuff with health and stuff. I find it amazing to me, and I'm gonna say this, that people now like they're like, damn, how you did? I said, bro, I was doing a lot of stuff when I was a kid. I mean, unfortunately, I know, I was just saying, that people, I guess they want to get healthy now, I guess, or trying to. But really, tell you the truth, a lot of this stuff should have been, unfortunate, it wasn't. Probably if you were 15, I'm 38 now, people should have been doing this years ago because, really, tell you the truth, your body break down as it gets older anyway, right?
True.
So,
true.
So you might, have issues. So I just say people have to think about those bad, I guess, eating habits they had when they was 15, 16, 20.
Yeah, you can't. I told my own dad that. I'm like, you still eating like you a kid. All that Jack in the Box fast food shit. I'm starting to think now with him getting sick, that nigga probably got parasites eating at him because he can't gain no weight. Right?
Yeah.
Something going on and you still can't eat and you wasting food and you ain't gaining. But people like that, you tell them about their health, they want to attack you. You say they life, they want to attack you. So you know me. I can't help you no more, brother.
But yeah, now, like I said, even my own.
To take care of yourself, that's on them.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, even my.
So you want the easy way out. That's not how that works.
Well, it was amazing to me.
You wonder why working out is hard, and it really ain't that hard once you get used to it.
Hey,
It really ain't. 30 minutes per hour, three days a week. I mean, come on, that's not a lot. I mean, they got easy stuff out here to work out now. Like I get on my while I exercise, then I'll get on my vibration plate. You can get on your vibration plate 10, 20 minutes a day. That helps with your circulation, drain your lymphatic system, help lower your blood pressure, help your heart. Anyway, a lot of people just want convenience. And BJ, I forgot to tell you this. Did you see that Ozempic lawsuit out now?
I mean, yeah, but you knew that was coming.
I did. You're right. I did.
Mean, come on, man. Like, you know what? Come think about it. Let me say this. Come think about it. So I like what you said there because me, like I said, I tell you, my buddy, he called me nut, but he came to me a couple weeks ago. He said, you know what, BJ, you know what? Come think about it. You're not a nut. I said, bro. He said, man, you get up at like 4:35 in the morning and get ready to go walking. I said, yeah. So I said, look, bro, it's a guy I'm gonna hook you up with. I said, bro, this guy is 64. He get up and walk all morning, go to workout class, all that retired guy, right? He was like, for real. Mm-hmm. I said, go out there. Now I can't get him to stop going. Matter of fact, he calling me now to go walking. You know how we were doing anyway. He said, yeah, you're right, man. He was like, it feels better when you do it. I said, yeah, bro, you do it, walk like 3-4 miles, whatever. Man, it's a lady out there, John Dawes. I'm telling you, this lady, she's 70 years old. I mean, her husband look like a snail walking her around the park and shit, right? So, you know, I be tripping. And then I was like, you know, I came to her and I said, you know what? I said, getting up at 4:35, you make it tired today sometimes. I can't not lie to that. But I said, getting up at 4:35, getting up and walking, you know, it's good because guess what? Your joints move better at that time.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Your energy is up, especially when the sun come up. That's why I guess that's why the rooster cock-a-doodle-doo, if you break it down, right? Cock-a-doodle-doo, right? But I was asking her what makes you and your husband get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. She was like, well, so she said, Dawson, listen, you're gonna love this. She said that, well, at first we were tired and we didn't do much, but we were walking all the time. But she said it inspires me more. She was like, because she said, how much you weigh, son? I said, I weigh 143 pounds. But she was good. She was like, because she was like, you got people 38 years old, just like you, that can't walk 1 block around this track. That she told me.
Yeah, she right about that. Unfortunately, that is true.
And she said, she was like, it's a shame that I'm 70, walking 10 miles a day, and people my grandchild's age can't walk because they're too obese to even try to walk.
Yeah.
I told her, well, that is motivating. I said, but when I look at it in a context, you do see a lot of people in their 70s and 80s that have less weight than some of our younger counterparts.
Yeah. My aunties, both, but one of them died of breast cancer, but both of them was avid walkers. Even my auntie now, she's 78, and she still. Well, she has a big backyard, but so she go and she made like a whole trail in her backyard, and she get up early in the morning and walk about 20, 30 laps. I think it equal like 2 or 3 miles or something like this. She said, I don't know.
Well, the good thing for you is that, hey, look, you walking, you got a 4-legged dog that walks, so hey, look, that's good, right?
Yeah, we walk even before I try to do my little exercise, the little I can do because I got hurt, but I still try to stay moving with some mobility because you get all stiff and stuff.
But don't be a human vegetable. We don't want you to be a vegetable, so hey, look.
Exactly. So that's why, and then I get out there with my dog and walk. Yep. Get out there with him.
If you got a bench out there where you at or something, you start hurting, you sit down, and when you get to, but I was telling you, you get up with him, you walk, try to do it, maybe about, I don't know what time what time is it? It's 12 o'clock on the East Coast, but it's 11 o'clock, when you get up early and walk with the dog, and then you could, I still look at these people sometimes, like my buddy, but I told you I was going to improve my buddy one way or the other. And guess what he told me? He told me this. He said, look, B, I got to tell you something, man. I said, what you got to tell me, man? We were working out that morning. And I said, bro, I said, you down to 320. You was 390 or 370, whatever it was at the beginning of the year.
So he got down.
So he got down. And I said, that's good. He said, yeah, man, you ain't believe this, man. He said, my family came in town and they went to Golden Corral. He said, the first time in my life, I only had 1 plate.
Okay.
I said, you getting it now. Now, of course, I told him, I said, y'all used to get on me back in the day when I was little. They used to give me a little, they used to tease me. They said, wait, they used to tell my mama, they said, why you got Bernard eating so light all the time? Why you eat like that? She like, I don't know. She was like, he didn't get it from me. She must have got it from his uncle or something like that. And, but he said, you know what? Now I look at it, he like, you right, man. I should have never got to be 300 something pounds. He like, that's kind of deep. Yeah. So he thanked me for, working out with him and stuff like that. He said he did wish that, he probably would have listened earlier. He probably would have had some of the health issues, but that's the price of doing business in this society. Hey, look. That's the way. But so you're on the dialysis now, and it is.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna get the port put in now. They're gonna put the the graft. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said that's unfortunate, but I said that hey, look, we can. But I said hey, look, you still got to get it. I said you got down to 320. I said now you got to get in the 200s, and
right.
We're gonna have to. I said that after the winter? I mean, after the summer, when the heat cools down, as you shed that weight, you're gonna have to, tone that stuff up a little bit because it could come out. You come out cutting look kind of crazy, what I'm saying? After you, keep on dropping, it do get kind of. So that's the only thing but he said he gonna get back and stop weightlifting. So we'll see. Time will tell. But like I said, with him and nephew and stuff, I've been having to get him a little bit because he tried to revert back and back gummy bears and all that other crazy shit. Like man, fuck all this shit, right? But I mean, hey, look. The good thing is, I told him the other day that I've been trying real hard with you. But I said sometime, when your buddies that you hang with, they want to get what is it, chicken and all that other, when you're with your buddies and shit, they get everything, you know what I'm talking about. And you just gotta say, hey, look, they offer you peace. Just say, look, I ain't trying to indulge in that right now, whatever. And he was like, you can do that? I said, yeah, you can do it. What are you talking about? You do what the hell you want to do. He's like, really? I said, yeah, what's the problem? He's like, they're going to get mad? I said, okay, that's what it is. I said, no. I said, look. I said, because you say you got a condition called diabetes, right?
That's right.
So you got to know that you can't indulge in that with them if they do it. I said, now, it ain't that hard. Do it. Really. You ain't, look, you can look at it two ways. Either more pizza or whatever the hell, chicken for them, right? Whatever. Right. And, but I said, you notice, and that's one thing that I always look at this. You ever look at these companies or whatever, and you might, you worked at nurse and people do everything, people have all these like, office jobs, whatever, right? You ever realize this? I think I did. I worked one job a long time ago where they did bring in like Jason's Deli or something like that, but that was like cold cut subs and stuff. But let me tell you what they were doing. They were having the office management upstairs get the Jason's Deli, but for the employees on the workroom floor, they were serving like pizza and donuts and
bad food.
Right. So I walk with this guy named my buddy. He told the guy, I tell you what we're gonna do. He told the other guy this. He told him, I had salad and shit anyways. I ain't give a fuck. I had salad and watermelon and shit like that. This shit ain't bother me. He told the guy, look, bro, this is what we're gonna do, man. He said, look, let them crackers buy all that goddamn food upstairs, right? He said, don't eat none of it. Let it sit there. Let the Popeyes chicken, Lee's chicken, and the pizza sit there, right?
Right.
He said, because you want to show them a lesson, right? He said, bro, the guy told him, I don't know the fuck you talking about. He was like, them motherfucker got free food. I'm going to eat that motherfucker. He took a whole fucking box of pizza. No bullshit.
Oh.
He said, man, I tell you, man. So then, we talked to that guy, like, a couple of weeks ago. A couple of years, it was years ago. And and we asked him how he doing. Well, he was on nitroglycerin. What is nitroglycerin? Whatever that shit. He had on like nitrates or something like that, nitroglycerin or something. And he was like, he asked him straight up to his face, I never maybe told him, man, I almost got to fighting with him, dog. So he said, your wife must don't love you. He's like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? How the fuck you know my wife? He said, bro, you on hot medication. He said, you on hot medication, nitrates or nitroglycerin, whatever. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, if your wife love you, why she still cooking you macaroni and cheese, ham hocks, all this shit? We asked him, and the man almost got to fight. I said, bro, chill, man. The man, you know the man talk shit. Relax. He's like, I don't appreciate him asking my wife love me. Of course she do. He was just saying, hey, look, what's up with this food you eating if you on this hot medication? I know what you're trying to say, but he just asked the question. Now, that did seem kind of harsh, but hey, look, he just asked the question. I told him, bro, don't get to fight with the man. They cool now, whatever. But, you know, that's how it be. But you got to, it ain't even about, you know, his wife love him. It's this. Do you love yourself enough to stop your indulgences from what ails you? And you ain't got to have Jesus. You ain't got to have nothing. You, is it like yesterday? I'm going to tell you one more thing. Yesterday, because my nephew yesterday, I told you yesterday, I don't know what the hell was going on. He was on one yesterday. I don't know what the fuck going on. Because the lady, white lady, you know, matter of fact, white lady parked beside me with a Tesla Cybertruck. And she said, she told me, watch out. She was like, what? She was like, it's a young man walking around the park with a log or something. I said, what?
A log?
Yeah, he had a log in his hand, right? Yeah.
Your nephew?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was like, yo, you scared the shit out of this lady out this bitch. I was like, I said, what you doing? He's like, well, I'm just walking with a log or whatever. I like, okay. I said, yeah. I like, you all right? He like, yeah, I'm good. He like, you know, I was bored and walking around alone. I said, look, man, put that log down, man. These motherfuckers fuck don't know what the fuck going on, you know, we laugh, I'm laughing and shit, right? So, you know, so he started getting in the car and talking about, you know, the enemy and stuff like that, and I talk about Satan, you know. I don't know what the hell was. I do not know, man. I don't. Like I said, I can't dig in his brain, right? You know, I just tell you what's going on. So I gotta listen to this stuff. Hey, look, though, this is part of the process, right? I just sometimes I laugh, but I said, well, let me ask you a question, man. Who the enemy you talking about? He did. Now, I don't know. Wasn't it? He did say sometime you and me can be our own worst enemy. I said, well, that is true. I said, did that have anything to do with the log? He said, yeah, I was trying to defeat the enemy. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But so I don't know what was going on. Like I said, me personally, I'm kind of cool. So, you know, look, if something I get past, I don't even go tell it because I know the first thing, you know, people do panic. You might need more medications. I don't even go through all that. Man, I just said, look, just let this shit breathe over and stuff like that. After he got some food or whatever, he was all right. But I said, damn, this is a while. But I ain't tell that white lady was sorry. She was scared of shit. Woo, I was tripping my ass off. I said, damn. I said, one thing I got to say, Dawson. I got to give him credit. Sometimes, shit, I know one thing. He scares some white folks when you do some shit like that. They ain't know what the fuck is going on. I said, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I just got a kick out of it. But I was like, I said, but yeah, I told him, bro, you know, you walking around that log, walking up. I mean, like if you just had it in your hand, but you walking up and down the whole park with the jump, that would seem a little strange or something like that. I might pick a log and throw it. I ain't walk up and down on no park. That log with no damn log in my hand. That just, you know, people, you know, was on the playground, you know, kids out there and shit. No, I mean, look, man. Hey, look, we all, some things happen, but y'all just say just relax. I asked him, was you talking? He was like, no, I'm just walking. You know, he like, I just walking and stuff. He like, you know, I ain't got my headphones on and my phone dead, so I was bored. I said, all right, now I get it. I said, bro, I said, look, I'm gonna be over here talking to these guys that's playing at the court. You need to come sit down over here. Don't go walk back there no more. Sit your ass.
Right.
Sit. I said, because the worst thing you happen, you know what I was thinking though. I said, yo, that lady was looking. Now, if I ain't, telling with the law, and you don't know what she could have called the police, and you do not want the police coming to, because they don't know. Like my nephew is bigger than me. They might think that, and then you have to tell them, hey man, this, he got some stuff going on here. You can't.
Right.
So I had to tell him, sit down. But then there was some guys he knew out there, and he started talking to them. So for me, it's a thing with what I call it, boredom. And actually, I've been this more so because, like I said, my dad doing business stuff, something like that. So I've been actually sitting here talking to him more, because sometimes I just say, I gotta crack the code now, because I figured it out. When you talk to him more, he won't do that. But if you don't, he'll get bored and stuff like that. But I sometimes tell him, you gotta walk by yourself, because if I walk with you, it makes it easy. But if you walk by yourself, you can get up and do it every day. That's why I try to do it like that. But then sometimes I gotta be aware of that. I might need to do that earlier than later, and that's just what they call me learning the do's and don'ts too. Because he was like, he said something about I guess he told me, you ain't perfect enough. I said, I ain't never tell you that. I just said that I try to make sure you don't get into too many trouble, because, like I said, them white people over there, they might be like, like we call it cops. I said, you walk around the wrong neighborhood with a log with some brothers, they might ain't walk. They ain't calling no damn police. They just try to jump your ass. So I told him, I got to help you, because you got to understand that premise of life. Because, like I said, I know you probably ain't gonna do nothing, but do you really think everybody else here knows? The law. And so, and he said, yeah. So, he told me at the end of the day, he appreciated me for looking out for him and stuff. He just didn't, he said sometimes I be, too hard on him and stuff like that. And all this other bullshit. I told him, actually, tell you the truth, I think I'm being relatively easily, because
I believe,
because I said, hey, look, most of the people ain't gonna tell you to go walk by yourself. I tell you, go walk by yourself, and I'll stay in a range and stuff like that. I let him, hey, look, man. He said, can I get some ice cream? So I said, look, bro, go to. Only thing I had one problem this summer, though, man. I got it fixed. Did leave my refrigerator open, and goddamn that shit. I had to leave my refrigerator unplugged for 2 days. Let the ice, melt, so I could get the vents to cool. Otherwise, I'd buy a new refrigerator. So, but that was the only thing that could have ended up drastic. And I told him, you got to, when you hear, you do need to cut the lights off and stuff like that. I said, there's no reason I should wake up at 4:30 in the morning and every light is on downstairs. That's shit.
Right.
And he was like, I said, what you doing? He's like, I went to the bathroom. I said, bathroom, one light. He like, oh, and I was hungry. I got something in the refrigerator. I said, wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. I said, what does got to do with the lights on? I told him, look, bro. I told him, I got this. I told him, look, bro. I said, look, you leave the lights on again, you ain't staying in this motherfucker no more. I said, I'm now. That was the end of that. No more lights. No more lights after that. He was like, yeah. I told him, look. I said, look. I told him, it ain't nothing wrong with cutting the light on, I said, my mama back in the day, it was two things. Well, this happened in every black household probably, I believe.
Probably so, yeah.
There was two things that was told. Stop running them out that damn door all day. That was one thing. That was one thing. Don't run out the door all day, and don't leave all damn lights on. There were two things that was always taught.
Absolutely.
So I just told him that, hey, look, I don't care what you do. I told him the next thing, make sure my goddamn refrigerator shut. Because I said, I ain't trying to run a damn refrigerator because you leave the damn door. Man, I had those had the fucking watermelon away, all types of bullshit. So,
dang.
she was, because I just couldn't figure out what was going on. And you know, when stuff ain't, you know, when it start to heat and you know, refrigerator starts sweat, some of that food, you know,
Get bad. Yeah.
So yeah, but we got it fixed. But like I said, you know, those are the things that, like I said, I told the guy I got to get better at it. I told my boy the other day, look, you know, I'm glad y'all helped me, but with a lot of things. But I did tell him that that y'all can help with so much, because really, to be honest with you, that shit that y'all tell him going one in, one out the other. And I said, no, let me do it. I said, he was like, you sure? He said, you sure you gonna let him walk by himself? I said, yeah, I'm gonna be around, like in the radius. But I said, I gotta make him do it by himself, because if I don't, then he won't do it on his own. So he telling me one day, I ain't trying. That's the day. Matter of fact, that day the dog won't beat my ass.
Oh.
Yeah, she almost got me about German Shepherd on the track. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you told me that, yeah.
And I told him, yeah, what you doing? He was like, so I told him, you know, but we got it straight. But I told him, hey, look, everybody got to learn. Like I said, I get the guy say, I said, you ain't never learned enough. And I told him that you got to always, you know, be on your game when you wake up, because you don't know what can happen when you go outside. So I told him that we're going to focus. We got two focuses. We're going to focus on this. We're going to focus on getting your learner's permit. I'm going to send you to my boy with the driving school, and you get this. But I told him the next thing of this phase of life that you can get on, you're 25 years old, you got to be some type of enemy, because I told him I cannot pick you up and drive you all the time. So I said, we got to work on this. I tell you, the way it worked for you is the number one word. And it's the number one word in life. It's called focus. Focus. So, but yeah, so, you know what I can say is great, you know. Shaq, you still around? Or you in La La Land? Okay, look, man, it's even 12-24 on the East Coast. Hey, look, you know. But matter of fact, it is what they call, ladies first, you shoot out your information. Hey, Shaq, if you wake up. If not, hey, look, let the Sandman get you in the head. Shit, don't worry about it.
Oh. Okay, on IG, TikTok, it's a Share Speaks, but with a Z as in zebra at the end, not an S. And then Share Speaks 21, same with a Z, not an S at the end. Or when they blocking me, you can find me on Share Speaks with a Z, not an S at the end, TV. And then the same on YouTube. I have both those channels, Share Speaks with a Z TV or Share Speaks 21, when they not block me, you know. But good show, BJ.
Hey, look, yeah, you saying some good stuff. I mean, you not. Hey, look, I ain't got to worry about you at church this Sunday with the pound doing. No, I'm fucking with you. I'm joking. Hey, look, no, look, like I told that dude, down there by AJ shop, I said, look, man, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. He had the valve in his head, had a suit on and everything. I like, hey, look, man. I said, I got the same book you got too. He was like, you do? He like, we want to come? No, bro, you good. I ain't. I told him, he like, all right, well, have a nice day, sir. I'm like, you too. Anyway, guess again, Shaq on IG is Shaq Wilder. Shakir Edwards on Facebook. And Shaq, if you sleep, man, hey, look, you know what they say. It's always, sleep ain't never hurt nobody, because one thing about it, a lot of people are sleep deprived. And actually sleep deprived, I'd rather you get your rest and sleep, because when you don't get your rest, you do realize how much it causes you not to focus, and also it also can cause other things as well as health conditions. Because guess what? I mean, you know this, Dawson. Some people, even in the hospital, they'll tell you, well, why have I, got high blood pressure or pre-diabetes? And some doctors would tell you that you don't sleep enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to always get your rest and always think when you're resting. And for the last thing, I'm gonna say, stop. Just about some of my compadres, as they call it. Can you please stop eating these goddamn late night meals? It's starting to get kind of crazy. Hey, look, man, I know truck drivers do all that other. Truck drivers, take meals with you. You ain't got to stop at 7-Eleven and all these places and Pilot Flying J and all this. Because, that's already sitting there, sitting down for a long time. And the more you sit down a long time, you do get cramps and stuff like that as well. So, hey, man, some people drink pickle juice, some people drink beet juice, whatever. But make sure that it works for you so you don't go through all these ailments, because right now, these ailments, just like I showed you about United Healthcare earlier. Hey, look, arthritis, which is what? Joint degradation, right? Well, arthritis can be managed, but you don't want to have it that long. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Ain't that the truth?
Because my grandma, used to have arthritis when I was a kid, and she couldn't even make a fist sometimes.
Hers was crippling.
Well, she would have sugar as high as 380 sometimes too.
Oh, no way.
I remember my grandma used to drink them back in the day. She used to drink those big ass bottle of them liters of giant Pepsi or some shit like that. Drink them. That was her favorite drink, Pepsi, man. I came in there, Mama. I said, why Mama Jen laid out in the chair like that, eyes in the back of her head and stuff. She like, thanks for waking me up. Let me check it. So she would show me, like how you put the pen in the middle finger, for the check the sugar.
Yeah.
And she showed me. She said, put it on the strip. And I asked her, I remember I was 6 years old, and I asked her, Mom, what does that mean when you say your sugar 380? She like, that means we gonna have to take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
And come to think about it, at the end of my grandma's life, I was 2002. She did die of a hemorrhage to the brain. So yeah, from sugar, she died in hemorrhage to the brain. I was right there when she died. I was 14 years old. And that actually caused a big turn in my life, because my mom was working at night at the time. And then she started working in the day, and that actually caused me to getting a little bit more things in the out there that maybe I shouldn't have got involved with. Dealt with some guys maybe I shouldn't have got involved with at the time. But that was what they call it. Was that the millennial generation? What is that? I forget. Gen, is it Gen X? Is it Gen X? No. It's millennial.
Gen X is, what was they in their 50s? I mean, how old are they now?
Throw me. Like 14.
You a millennial. You still a millennial.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's millennial. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so so that's right. Yeah. So yeah, that's when a lot of stuff, was able to go down, and then there was a process of turning down all these housing projects in Richmond, and people moved uptown and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's how that went. But I do remember, and that's why I always said with me that you seeing your grandma die in that hospital at Chippenham, right? And she had diabetes and stuff like that, and her sugar used to be so high. It always let me know that how diabetes works. So, it
affects everything. Yep.
So it showed me, and she would get them what they call them big ulcers on the leg and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
So I remember that, and some of them. I mean, I was a kid, and so I said, my mom, she was like, I said, Mom, she got some big ulcers. What is that? She was like, I said, I asked her one time, do you want me to pop it? She like, hell no.
Oh no. You didn't know.
So I was like 11, 10 years old. I said, you want to pop it? Because I said, she is complaining and stuff. She said, no, you can't do that. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, but that's why I say I learned, but I know when them ulcers and stuff start getting on you, that means that your sugar and you got a lot of stuff. So that's renal failure, that's kidney failure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's what, remember the number one, like, I'm going to say this in closing. My nephew said that the number one is you. And guess what? You know what, Mr. B? You are exactly right. Because guess what? When you don't have your health, you can be your own worst enemy. He is. I got to give it to him. Out of all that stuff yesterday, he 100% right. So even if he in his mind or having some, you still get something out of it. So like I tell people, he got some issues sometimes. Man, crazy. That's why I can deal with him as much as I do. But take your time, get some rest, and just relax. Because it's going to be okay, and you're going to be okay. So they say to the ladies, treat her like a lady. I will say salutations. And I'm out. Take your time.
All right, BJ.
All right, Shaq.
Shaq, I don't know if he done fell asleep or what.
All right, take your time.
All right.